Halo guys, bersama aku bersama gaming dan assalamualaikum pada yang baru datang ke channel ni. Hari ni kita buat live stream first time. Live stream tournament Mobile Legend ni dekat YouTube. Jadi ni first time kita buat Ni guys.
The Venom. It
Yeah,
was
season
Venom.
16.
For James,
last night,
for James it doesn't feel like the
Minggu
first
pertama
blood
hari kedua.
because like
Ni
he got a
first time
couple
ni.
of them yesterday. He died
Kita
first
buat live
blood,
stream.
I think twice.
Yeah.
But
Ni ada
he
komen-komen
was able to redeem himself eventually
ni?
every single time.
Yeah, I think even more so
If
now,
you want
dying
them
as
to
an
jungle
EXP laner
go,
early just seems to be part of the job.
One is good.
Ni
Twice,
kasi nama player.
think about it.
Nama player Philippines.
You're
Talk-
probably
we'll
on the
talk
road
later.
to 6 deaths, but then if you get that one good set, everyone's gonna forget it.
Why ada 28%?
And we're gonna talk about something else even further. I love this new segment, by the way. This is the How.
This was for
Welcome to The Howl. This is Wolf presenting you the Infinix keys to victory. It's AP Bren going up against Omega in the first series of today. For AP Bren, they have to watch out for Ryzen's jungle invasion. We saw yesterday in their first match
This squad
that
bit-
Ryzen was
Biren,
able to win the Battle of the
Biren
Gold when
Filipina.
it comes to farming because of his jungle invasion
Only
against his
PS
opponents.
lawan
And even
TL,
when they
Jika
don't get the
look at this.
neutral objectives like the turtles, he still manages to win the gold battle just because of that.
May
So that's
Biren
something that AP
lawan-
Bren needs to stop.
Ano sabi
And
niya?
speaking
Omega.
of stop, they have to stop Omega's turtle to execution. We also saw yesterday how important the second turtle was for the side of Omega. Even when they don't actually get the turtle, what they
Biren lawan Omega,
actually
guys.
win is the
Biren
battle
lawan
afterwards.
Omega.
So that's what they really need to pay attention
Kalau
to.
menurut
So
aku,
AP
yang
Bren will be
menang-
able to secure the series. Now for
Siapa?
Omega, they have to take
Yan
advantage
ang
of
first
Super
time, guys.
Yoshi's
Kita buat live
catch
stream tournament.
playstyle. It is very clear yesterday that when Omega is playing, they really want to
Mungkin
utilize
Biren na,
the
kasi
catch
Biren
heroes
na.
for Super Yoshi, and they are actually more comfortable if that is the archetype of heroes that Super Yoshi is actually playing. And most importantly, they have to control the tempo.
Komen ni guys.
Tempo
Biren
control,
na
EXP laners will fit Omega's MO so well. What they need to do is to just get Lapu-Lapu, your Arlos, or any kind of
Lapu-Lapu.
EXP laner. Even the Phobies can work as long as it controls the tempo of the game. That is going to be AP Bren versus Omega, and let's see. Let's find out in the draft who wins
Yeah.
the series.
Nampak ni kita dah.
And that was the Howl by Wolf. Cass? Should I say Wolf? Just Wolf.
Just Wolf.
Basically, it's a big revolution around Super Yoshi's catch
Yeah.
potential, which a little bit of a Mamba mentality maybe just kind of seeped into him a little bit. What do you think about that?
It feels like a little bit more Super
Diba?
Yoshi.
Tambah lagi satu ni.
Based on what we saw from him from game number one,
Window
I like that
capture.
he's not just seen as one specific thing. Yes, the keys of victory brought to us by Wolf did focus on his catch
Why
playstyle,
is,
but then you could also just have him play up a hero who just shows up, gets vision, and then that's already good. Because you already have someone like James to help cover for that. So a little bit more, I think, even though he won't get the catch playstyle type hero, as much as possible they should though,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so worried for Omega if Super Yoshi's just a little bit more passive, because James is already so proactive for him.
Yeah, like on a hero similar to the High Loss or
Yeah.
something. Because
yeah.
James fills in those shoes of being that aggressive, or as mentioned by the keys to victory again, tempo
Kejap, guys, kejap,
controller
guys.
type of XP laner so well, much to the point that even if it has to
Pakai
start in as
window
early as the
caption,
first minute
Share
and
Google.
might cost him his life, it's gonna be all worth it in the end because they're still able to
Okay,
establish
mobile
that certain
capture.
tempo, which I feel like all of them together have done such a great job at setting up for like the first few games they've played yesterday. Even though Haji has played, I think, 3 games of Farsa yesterday. I mean, that's the thing. Like the Farsa, it just does
Okay,
so
so-
much when you want to set that control,
Yes.
when you want to. And by the way, aside from control, I want to commend how much he's been such a hard target to catch
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
for
opponent
sure.
XP laner, despite being a Farsa. It's like he's just always so alert that his wings by wings come in at the right time. So that's another thing. Like
Okay.
Haji as the leader,
Okay.
as that kind of hero, just does so much for his team.
TikTok
That's
ba?
right. And on the other side, it's going to be Aqua. Don't forget, this is his comeback all the way from across the seas. He was MPL Philippine Season 9 champion and MSC 2022 champion, which a lot of us do still maintain that, you know, could have been a really MVP performance, but
Yeah.
Evan was selected in that time.
Yeah, for Aqua, he's cut from the same cloth as Haji, honestly.
Hey, guys.
With how during the peak of Aqua and RSG, he was really known as that hard-to-catch mid laner, artillery, play around the Eve very well, play around Farsus very well. It was even during a time where you had heroes like Lilia, Kagura show up as options, the rare Kadita here and there. So that killer mentality that Haji has and that desire to stay alive while providing damage, Aqua has that too, and that's something that Omega needs to respect.
Oh, now you mentioned that. What if they actually decide to do that up against this Farsa that Taji might potentially bring out again later heading into the draft, which is actually happening right now. So I wonder how similar the trends are going to be compared to yesterday, because I feel like the trends in terms of the red side bans yesterday were always just so consistent on those first two heroes.
And I like what happened here with the first trade of picks. So, as we said earlier, James really can just be that frontliner and initiator for Omega. He did that incredibly well yesterday. But Omega, acknowledging the situation, okay, we lose our Phoveus, but then at the same time, wait, banning out the Phoveus means that the 1-1 is a good option for AP Brent to rush. So they decide to ban that out for safety, even if they could have picked the Farsa into it. That's just how annoying 1-1 is right now. And so far, standard are the bans with the Juicin and YSS.
Conversations as well has been steered where the meta right now really is very similar to what we've seen in MSC. You guys noticed this as well yesterday. Although we haven't really seen as much of flexibility in the mid. Again, Farsa being picked up a lot.
Farsa Selena.
Selena, obviously. Kimmy can definitely make a resurgence here somewhere. We did see a game as well with Kimmy. But so far, nothing like... Again, no resurgence of older heroes, and that's why I love seeing Aqua here. Maybe with Aqua playing, we might be able to get an influx of newer picks to maybe spice things up a little bit.
Okay guys, game dah start. FPB Ren lawan Omega guys. Ni Philippines.
So far, but this should be a last hill event.
Filipino.
Unless they want to give it to James
MPL.
Pax.
Season berapa bang? Season 16.
Nope. Still banning
Bang, lagi live bang. Iya, lagi
three
live.
bans of the season so far.
Bang, udah makan belum? Dah.
Lapu, Farsa still open.
Ni dia lagi ban ni guys. Dia ban Phoveus sama
yesterday.
hero baru ni siapa tu? Nama
We only
lupa.
had 4 priority
Basha
picks, Farsa,
di-ban.
YSS, CC, and
Lancelot di-ban,
Baksha.
Visasi
So
di-ban.
maybe this could be a Farsa rush.
Wawan
Or
di-ban,
CC
ya.
rush, one of the two.
Will be a great deny as well.
Ni siapa ni? Nama
For
player dia
Haji.
Shizao.
But that's gonna be scary as well.
Oh,
if
ada
they're forcing
ni guys,
him to use something else.
Arlan
But
ni
I
dia
think
play.
this is a great answer nonetheless,
Okay,
because
Pitama,
typically you'd feel a bit more hesitant to pick up the Farsa knowing that you're gonna go up against an Arlot. So
Yeah.
Ya
would
guys,
that be the
Zusin
route
guys,
though for Smart
nama dia
Omega? I mean, we
di-ban
heard
oh.
Command
Hero
Haji
Magic.
and his escape. So
Seems like they're trying
Oh,
to
ni Filipina.
block,
Filipina
Farsa
easy server hello
instead
from
of just
Indonesia.
straight up banning it
Hello.
out. And it
Hello,
also makes sense
Indonesia.
with the context of they
Chichi
also banned the
Olapo.
Phoveus earlier.
Yeah.
So if ever now
Kalako,
Omega's thinking,
Nurak,
wait, AP
Chichi
Brent
guys,
go for the Fredrin and Arlot combination later on.
Chichi Ovi. Waduh, Paisha.
And they go for the Kalea. They are still
Kalea,
gonna
di-pick.
keep to the idea of their key to victory with getting catch for Super Yoshi. So are
Ni
they still
Paisha,
gonna stick with the
Paisha,
Fred and
okay,
Arlot
guys.
combination at the center of the
Sekarang
map?
dia Magic kan.
might be one of the better
Oh,
options to
damn,
go
it's so-
for, and they could also potentially pick up the
Ni tinggal Aqua sama S16 ni guys.
Moskov a bit more.
Aqua,
Considering that Ryzen
S16.
has showed us a couple of fannies yesterday, and once he gets the momentum rolling, it's gonna be really terrifying, especially for a marksman.
Okay, Moskov dia pakai Shizao.
So they pick up the Moskov here
Oh,
and
Aqua
the
pi Akai.
Akai.
That's definitely gonna discourage
So,
that.
never
right?
mind.
My flag continues to grow, children.
Lapu-lapu,
The
guys.
Church of the
Nah,
Kai
dipakai
stands
tu.
strong, and we get
Sama
another
James.
representative. But Omega honestly picked into that very well. The
Bang,
Lapu might actually
lagi
be
live
struggling
stream,
here,
bang.
but if
Yeah,
you
lagi
time
live
the
stream.
bravest fighter well enough, you could actually
TikTok,
avoid getting
YouTube,
taken
ada
away
guys, ah,
to a
like
really
live
bad
stream.
spot for your team or for yourself by the heavy spin of the Akai.
Beauty that really easily disrupted, especially since Lapu-Lapu is very reliant on combinations, like not continuous DPS for him to actually dish out. what
Cici
he
lagi
do.
better. Ya, setuju,
Same
setuju.
time, again,
Sama-sama.
love the Akai right
Ada
here.
Cici
It
tu,
really
damage dia besar.
discourage so much. It can also
Tak masuk
really
akal
easily
ke damage
cancel
dia?
out Defender Air Strike when needed.
Lepas tu nak stun pun susah. Cici.
I think
Dengan skill
yesterday
dua
I
dia,
was using it and I
yang
kept
lompat-lompat
invading
tu.
the enemy jungler.
Which one?
The Akai. But it
Kalau
was in the roam.
Cici
And now I feel like we
memang
are
harus
more
di-ban
likely to see it.
kalau main rank.
No, wait.
Oh wait, yes.
Is it?
We cannot also turn off the possibility of an Akai roam popping up here, considering that we did see that a little bit more.
Okay, Kimi di ban sama Karina guys.
Of EWC
Omega ban Kimi.
Could be a possibility with the carry showing
Can
up though. I feel like
Biren
it's already
ban
a
niya,
little bit more of a very
Karina.
front-heavy tank focus
Carry.
for AP Brand, which is why they're taking away a shredder
This is
of
a work,
tanky
yes.
gold
Waduh,
lane
ini
of
game
tanky
belum mulai dah
fighters and
sombong ya.
tanks. That means the gold lane for
Philippine
Omega
dah
might
boleh sombong
just
ya,
lean
easy
towards
server
picking
katanya.
something alongside the Granger. They
Okay,
can just
kita
play
tengok.
for range, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, the Fredrin also just looking
Apakah
really...
AP Biren boleh menang guys lawan Omega?
My
Just
legacy
make a
shall
really
endure.
good
Again,
lineup,
Ben.
go for Roma, Akai, and Fredrin jungle. Maybe
Oh
could
my
work.
goodness, that's the Fredrin Arlot, Akai Arlot together in one
Philippine
line.
Greece.
Crazy, right? That would be so crazy.
That's annoying, honestly.
Omega,
Conceptually
Philippine
and
dun
in
eh.
practice, that is very difficult to go up against,
Kalau AP
especially
Biren,
if you're a
Philippine
Kalea
eh.
and a Lapu-Lapu that want to get close to that action. You're actually putting yourself at risk more.
Philippine lawan Indonesia
They
ni.
didn't ban it out. They banned some mid-lane heroes
Girl,
instead.
Philippine
Some
lawan
heroes
Philippine.
for Aqua. So
Nice ban, Phil.
that still opens the possibility of maybe some of the other mid-lane heroes that Renmar did mention earlier,
Yeah.
maybe. But I don't know if they
Okay, sir.
really want to risk that because we haven't seen much Kaguras.
Soalnya kok sangat.
See value in me?
More so for the Lilias, but it's
You
interesting
should.
that, or it's an interesting ban that AP Brent took out the Fredrin themselves.
Yeah, I think
Kev,
Omega did
AP
definitely
Brand,
have a slot
dia
of
ban ni guys ya, Fredrin.
so that you'll have the Fredrin Akai match up into the jungle. Now
Siapa yang
they've
ban?
run out of tanky
Nova,
junglers
Nova
actually
guys,
that
ban.
they can play with. The Baksha also gone. It's not like you're gonna bring back a Martis into the meta. They're trying to force
Ah,
Omega to play
ini
into
kebal
an
juga. Dia
assassin
fighter
jungle.
boleh,
That,
jungler
as
boleh.
we mentioned, with the lineup of Baby
Kebal.
Red, could just go ahead and invade a lot.
Roger
So they lock in
Paul.
their gold laner instead.
Ah,
They pick up a
Beatrix.
Beatrix. You do still get that range.
Nampaknya Omega
but at the
pakai
same
Beatrix,
time,
guys.
You also
Ryzen.
get strong basic attacks, which is something that you need against a lineup that will most likely dive
Agak
close
James.
to you.
Yeah.
Pangka ni pakai siapa guys? James
Oh,
Pang
even the Hilda's
Pangka.
still there actually.
Dia jungler,
So,
jungler.
if Smart Omega, they do seem
It's
like they're
Nova.
really saving their jungler for last because there are just
Apa
so
tu,
many
ah?
things to consider
Milena,
in AP
Milena.
Brent's
Nova
lineup so
Milena.
far. So this is where
Rizky
we'll probably
Golden.
find out, or this is where we'll definitely find out where the Akai is going.
Yeah.
But
It's James Mount though, isn't
It
there?
is.
It's also a really good chance he might just end up picking an assassin here. And
Yeah.
as you mentioned earlier, the Sakai can still go
Aduh,
rogue.
Beatrix main jungle lah.
Like Hayabusa is still available for them to pick, and it would not be a bad combo.
the Joy even there too.
And the Joy. Oh, okay, so it's an Akai
Gatot
jungle.
kaca langsung dipakai sama
wow.
James Pangka guys ya.
That is such a tanky
Sama
lineup, but
Valentina.
it's too close range.
Yeah, everyone.
Ini Omega ni formasinya
It's
pelik
a
ya.
little bit too divey for my taste, but then the fact that they picked up the Valentina means they could get a
Dan
bit of
jangan lapu-lapu
artillery if he
jungler,
does
guys,
steal the
ya.
ultimate
Lapu-lapu.
of the Farsa away. This alleviates a little bit of the
Ini dua
pressure, though, but
MM
not
ya.
so much, because even if you still go
Apa
assassin
ni dia
here
nak
for
pakai, guys?
Ryzen,
Edit dah,
it's
edit.
gonna be a tough jungling pattern for him.
Yeah,
Spot
they're gonna be
jungler,
hard pressed to
bang.
actually just get the feather airstrike over and over again since you also have a little bit
Spot
of
jungler.
versatility. You can also go aggressive with
Betul ni,
the
spot jungler ni.
Slam if ever.
Good to see apa
So
action
lots of
again
options here, but you're right. The range is going to be problematic, especially in the early game.
Maybe not the Joy.
Ini dipakai siapa ni guys ya, gagak.
It's gonna be the Hayabusa.
Boleh ni.
Oh!
Oh, S-bomb.
Okay, there we go.
All right, not
Oh,
bad.
betul lah.
That slipped my mind, but yeah, that's actually a perfect
Sampai komen
pick.
tadi
Up
tu.
against a tanky
S-bomb.
jungler.
S-bomb
You
jungler,
have
guys, ya.
a lot of dive against the
Oh,
opposing
the
team.
swag.
However, does
The
Export
swag dengan
have enough of a
Beatrix.
tanky front line to actually help him out?
S-bomb
Because with the
jungler,
Lapu-Lapu and the Kalea, we know there
Oh,
are
yeah,
times where
man.
Kalea
Ini
actually
tournament ni,
just
tournament
goes
ni.
down
Live,
very
live.
quickly, even though she can catch. This might put pressure on the Export to front line a little bit
Philippine
more,
lawan Philippine
which
guys
you
ya.
don't really want to do. So it's up to Omega to how to execute this so that the Xborg, Lapu, and Kalea are all on the same page.
Yeah, it feels
Ni
more
menurut
like
kalian
an
siapa
out
menang ni?
lineup here if you think about
MP
it.
Brand atau
They're
Omega?
not gonna use
Omega
last
bang,
game
base
that
bang.
long, but they
S-bomb
will
is
try to
OP.
recoup and then
S-bomb
go back
OP,
to the
guys.
fight once more. This is going to be the
Akai
one
jungler,
I
bro,
don't know
dia
you
main.
guys, you
Akai-
guys are
Akai yang
thinking about
panda
this
tu
one.
yang
It
gemuk-gemuk.
does feel like Omega has covered all the bases and AP Brand again very close range, being very late
Ini
game.
meta PS guys ya, kita kena copy ni meta
I think it's
meta Philippine
pretty
ni.
surprising to see that
Akai
AP Brand did
jungler,
not
S-bot jungler.
opt to go for any purify spells though. They're literally banking on the
Bang, udah makan belum? Udah makan.
Omega rather. They did not pick up any purify spells. Not
Okay,
even
guys,
with the
game
presence
dah
of
mulai,
Akai,
guys.
Not even with the presence of an Arlong
FPB
and
run lawan Omega.
So
Ini first time live stream tournament guys.
Playing this very
Yeah.
First time nih.
aggressively.
That and they might be
Ini
subscribing
komennya
to the
banyak
thought,
guys.
like, you know
Ada
what,
dari
instead of
base,
just cleansing
Indon
it,
ada,
let's sidestep it.
Australia
Let's
ada,
force them to
Hong Kong ada,
change
guys.
their
1-2
positioning and
OMG.
make them dive a
Aduh,
little bit
katanya
deeper
kalah,
into our
Kas, the
formation
full
by
game is
flickering
big.
away. Looking at the emblem sets, nothing too crazy across the board, pretty standard.
Emblemnya pun nih
Yeah,
ya.
one thing's for sure,
Beda-beda
Super
gitu
Yoshi's
emblemnya.
gonna have a bad time here. So many purifies on one side
Tergabung kan
means that
emblemnya tuh.
you're just gonna have a hard time catching anyone, even if you hit level 4 right
Okay.
away. So they might have to play around
Okay,
those
nampaknya
purifies
udah mulai
timings
serang,
very
guys.
well. Otherwise, risk getting run over by this beefy lineup from AP Bren.
Yeah.
Bencana,
Whoever
bencana
you
ini,
want to
bencana
set
nih guys
up
ya.
using the
Tournament.
Tsunami Slam is gonna be quite difficult too.
Moscow lawan
Aqua and
Beatrix,
Shizu
okay,
are the
Moscow.
players with both the Purify spells, and
Tapi
I'm not
menurut
sure if
aku
you want
macam
to bring in
Beatrix
James
lah.
Pax
Damage dia
closer
besar
to
di
Smart
game.
Omega or not even Lord JM. So it'll be
Kalau
very
Moscow tuh late
important
game,
that
guys.
Super Yoshi
Di hero-nya.
finds and uses this Tsunami Slam on the right target later on.
Yeah. Earlier damage profile seems
Dari
to
Bompa.
be better
Siapa tuh?
for Omega right now, but of
Akai
course
dari
for
Bompa,
AP
guys.
Bren, they have the raw sustain that can help them survive. Don't forget, Akai has built
Okay, nampaknya ada
into
serangan
his
ke
kit.
atas.
James
Okay,
Pax still
okay.
able to get the last hit there onto the EXP. And then you also have the Revitalize coming in for X Nova. No Revitalize on the side for
Oh,
Omega.
Moscow nampaknya buat
Just
damage ke
having a hard time
Beatrix.
laning against Shizo. Much more
Oh,
confident.
nyawanya Mega
This
guys
silent
ya.
kid.
Yeah, I think he was a bit too deep in that particular fight. But
Nampaknya ada
AP Bren might be the first
ada
ones to
bencana
start
guys
for
ya.
this
Dekat
turtle
turtle
rising.
nampaknya Don dah mula nak ambil turtle.
Dealing some damage as well.
Icebox
as
dah
the
level
Fortress
4
exactly
dah anti.
He is seemingly being
Okay,
overrun
Arlot
now.
dah join guys ya.
Did not
Okay,
connect.
lapu-lapu buka
That
anti.
final slash did not connect and it will be
Okay, siapa menang ya? Dapat
It will
tetap.
be the first to fall. That's gonna be spin coming in.
Wede, Akai dapat turtle.
Allow him to secure that turtle. It's a double kill for Ryzen, however. So they
Mati
trade
guys ya
things
Valentinanya.
out.
Okay,
Mati.
that was a little bit of a mess here coming in from AP Bren. Omega capitalized so
Yes,
beautifully
it is
after
over.
that,
This
after
is
fact as
over.
well.
Yeah, however, James Pan showing why Akai is a great option in the jungle. Just heavy spin under everything. You really do not
Ada
care.
gambar item dia,
You
guys.
just go ahead and Retribution there. But yeah, Lord JM needs to tighten up his
Detail,
timing a little bit more.
tunjuk.
He was way too early and too eager with that final
Okay,
slash.
daun dah beli kasut,
Flicker. He
guys,
also burned a
kasut
flicker
mana.
for that.
Ooh, now that you bring that up, that's a lot of resources being used, and that might be
Apanya
the opening
S-Box
that Omega
buff
has.
Akai
Maybe
guys.
just
S-Box.
make sure they can reel in this mid
Dia
game.
cik buff
Yeah.
Wait,
purple.
did Ryzen?
Yes, invade. Great call actually, but
Nampaknya
Ryzen
Datuk
might get
Kaca
caught out here.
cuba haras
Okay,
S-Box
throughout
guys.
the armor
Okay, ada
already
bencana
gone.
berlaku
That's
guys.
the
Bencana,
AOG
bencana.
coming in onto Ryzen, however, and James is doing such a
Okay.
great job at zoning as
Akai
well.
ulti
There's
ni,
gonna be
siapa
another
ni? Lapu-lapu.
coming in from James Pan, full super
Lapu-lapu
Yoshi
mati,
to
guys.
provide
Lapu-lapu
the right
mati.
amount of support,
Jatuh
or
entak
will
sekali, guys.
he be caught as well? That's
S-Box
the
ke
last
ulti.
insanity copied by
Oh,
Aqua,
mati. Kalian
and
mati
they
juga,
actually
guys,
get
ya.
the kill
Sama
for
lapu-lapu.
themselves.
Man, Aqua was holding on to that last sanity.
Well,
I
AP
thought
Bren
he'd
power
use it on
guys, ah.
Ryzen, but he was saving it. And now AP Bren will continue to invade into the jungle of Omega, making it even
Akai
harder
cik
for this
buff ni
export to
guys.
farm.
Buff Mega
Definitely
S-Box.
not the Valentino ult that Omega was expecting for
No.
sure this time around. And that's AP Bren with a little bit of a surprise factor, getting them a bit of a lead. Again, small margins here really are the big difference maker,
Yeah.
especially in that goal lane.
Bang,
We're
dah berapa
looking at
skornya?
the goal
2 sama,
difference here
guys.
is very, very close.
Happy Biren dah bunuh 2,
Apparently,
Omega
the
dah
entire
bunuh 2
idea
guys.
of AP Bren being too melee in terms of their lineup
Apanya
isn't
dua-dua,
something they're letting
club ni
themselves
kuat
be
guys,
limited by.
tournament
They're just
Filipina.
being so aggressive with this entire concept, and it's not that Smart Omega are able to find ways to work around it either.
Yeah, well, this is what we mentioned with the lineup of AP Bren, that the aggression that they have, they can invade, they can consistently
Okay,
harass,
kita
get
tahu kedua, guys.
information. So they're taking
Bencana ni,
conditions,
bencana
and
berlaku
they
ni.
needed to do that because at the end of that,
Ada
James
open
Pan
one,
still
eh.
did not walk
Walaupun
away with a
total, eh.
purple buff. Ryzen walked away with 2, even though that meant that his orange buff was taken away from him. There's a better steal and buff
Okay,
secured
S-Nova
for
masuk dulu,
Omega.
guys.
Now
Gatak,
Ryzen,
gatak.
though, needs to be careful because AP Bren are close.
Okay, ada bencana berlaku guys.
Goes
Siapa
in,
dapat
gets the
tengah?
Super Yoshi last insanity.
Let's
The
go,
who
Kak Alti,
gets the
Kak
turtle.
Alti.
It's still gonna be James back. Super
Yeah.
Yoshi will fall as well. James trying to run away. Haji using the feathered airstrike. There's a flicker coming in from James, but they won't be able to find a trade.
AP Bren dapat
what a
turtle,
clean
guys.
take.
These points,
Dapat
these
2 kali
last
total,
insanities are really making it so hard for these players to actually find their targets. Actually, I was a little surprised.
Bren
I was
is
confused
the
whether that was
most
like
final M7
Aqua
and,
or Ryzen. Either way, it can really mess up the timing here, and I don't think Omega is dealing with it very
It was guys,
well.
it was.
Yeah, I mean, we did acknowledge, even though this export was one of the last best picks that
Yeah,
Omega could have
Filipina
gone
di
for
push,
there,
eh,
it really
Filipina.
was just it's running with a lot of risks, especially since you have a lineup built so that the X-Borg actually needs to front, meaning that he'll be taking the initial brunt of damage, which makes his window of using that last insanity even smaller. As we look at the items, Dreadnought
guys,
already
na-item
locked
niya,
in for
guys.
the 2 junglers. No full item
yeah,
secure.
Moscow
Oh, excuse me,
item
already the
cancel.
anti-Karass, but the X-Borg shouldn't be too far
Oh,
from that.
damn.
For the 2 gold
War S,
players,
guys, Moscow na play.
waiting for the full item
Ooh.
build on the Matrix. Okay,
Right.
AP Bren, instead of deciding to commit that, they realized they missed some key abilities and just backed off instead.
Onyx PH better.
They're gonna want to
Onyx,
hold on to that and wait so they
Onyx,
potentially
Philippine
could get
lagi
another
better katanya,
successful
guys.
take on the next turtle because they've taken 2 turtle
Onyx,
damage
yung mana,
right
guys?
now.
Yeah.
Wow, look at these 2 XP ladders down
Very
below.
solid movement.
Oh, gambalanda.
We're seeing those. Obviously,
Ano
the
ba?
1-for-1s. We're seeing them play essentially what we'll see them later on. Very
Yeah.
in your face rather.
Andiyan ni
And
Kuwait,
I can't wait to see the full 5-man, honestly.
Okay.
That's all we're waiting for right now. 6.5 minutes into the game. Omega, they want that fight. They want to be able to use these
Yeah,
heroes.
guys.
But for the
Lawan
meantime,
niya
it
doon,
does feel
Pichalaro
like
ni lawan
Netsky
niya.
does need more items
Lima
to
na
actually
lima
get
eh.
into fighting form.
Yeah, better positioning right now though for Omega for
Hey,
this
Omega
objective.
macam ada
Of course,
ni
you're going to
ah.
be expecting the SOD
Better
to come in. Good
position,
thing James
guys.
Bounce
Omega
decided to
na.
move forward alongside Aqua to hold the forward shrug,
Okay, guys,
which means
total
Omega need
ketiga,
to
guys.
commit a
Coming
play.
in.
Wait, they
Ada
force
kau,
a reaction
Omega
from Lord
balik
JM.
total.
Shizu takes the turret down bottom instead though, but James Bounce, he has his
Oh, I
eyes
spoke
set
correctly,
on
guys.
Ryzen. Gets cancelled out by the Tsunami Slam, however, there's the OG X Nova right now.
Lord
He's
JM.
isolated all by himself,
Well,
but it's James Bounce who's
Spoke
targeted
dapat
by
punakay,
Ryzen
guys.
all over again. He's saving that last
Yeah,
insanity
Spoke.
over and over again for this hero.
In the bottom lane though, you see Shizo splitting the map.
Oh my god.
Yeah, James Pam's
Moscow
a little
push.
bit too eager to
Dapat
try
duduk,
and
guys,
find
Moscow.
Netsky out of position. He actually was trying to chase after the Matrix to heavy spin him away. It looks like Omega's going to get this turtle.
Okay, James trying to go for
Okay,
Aqua
Moscow
again.
datang,
He's a
guys.
little fighter.
Moscow datang,
There's
guys.
better
First blood.
strike as well, but Shizu and Lord JM, they're holding
Come,
on to this
Moscow dapat
turtle.
punay, Moscow.
Somehow Ryzen still gets the retribution, however, and they're
wait,
trying to
wait.
chase after Lord JM and Shizu. Bennett's Rage finally takes down Lord JM, and that's going to be
Nampaknya
it
Omega menang,
for
guys.
now.
Dah lima
That was
dia
like
dah.
almost a 2-minute team fight all across the map, and they don't
Let's
show
go,
any
come on,
signs of
let's go.
slowing down.
Oh,
X-Nova propping it and getting ready for the
Guys,
defense.
Xbox
They're gonna be able
attack
to
lagi
clear, but
bagus.
man, oh
Xbox,
man, I think Omega
Jungle.
took AP Brenner for a ride.
Mas baru tak mati
AP Bren again started off with James Bounce a little bit too. He was too greedy, trying to go after Netsky. I'm gonna be honest.
Guys,
no other way to say it.
You know other way to say it. It ruined the
Imagine
formation
it.
of that AP Bren actually had, and it was a good one. Omega also caught AP Bren off
Yeah,
guard. But the
Moscow niya
problem
belum
was
mati.
they actually,
Moscow niya
gotta
belum
say,
mati, guys.
wrong target. They were a little
Double
bit too
splash.
eager to go after Lord JM, but the fact that it looks like AP Bren didn't go alongside James Bounce and weren't completely all right with his call to try and chase
Sama
after
din
the
ang
Matrix,
Matrix, yeah.
it meant
They
that
went
AP
at the
Bren's formation just got ruined, and
Matrix
Omega
ada
actually
pedang
walked
hijau,
away
ada
with a big
pedang
win in
kuning,
that
Moscow.
fight.
Yeah.
Both gold laners still very close in terms of the gold. Malefic Gun and the BOD already locked in by Netsky, while Shizo does have the Corrosion Sight and the Golden Staff.
So that wasn't just
The
me,
AP
right?
Bren kalah,
That
guys,
was so
ah.
disjointed
Yeah.
for AP Bren.
So
I was
Omega
going to
menang
ask you
din
guys, what happened here? Is something wrong with this matchup, with this engagement they're doing? They did look super
AP
confident
Bren
coming
menang
into
bang,
it.
AP Bren
But then again, it bought so much time. Shizu did get towers on the bottom.
Sabi,
Maybe that's where the
pedang
comps
hijau.
are busy with. But again, it didn't look stonks. And because of all of that,
Lord
we are
James
back
showing
on
up
even
the
ball game
numbers.
in terms of gold.
I
Lord
mean, James
James
Bounce
Happer.
probably thinks that Netsky has to be the target for
Lord
Smart
James
Omega.
Happer, guys,
because
ako siya.
He's the marksman who joins the fight because as we
Kaya
saw,
tapayin,
it's
Lord
Shizu
JM.
who gets
Oh,
to do a lot
kaya
more
guys,
things on his own as
Allah
expected
ni.
from Moscow, but
Kaya
Smart
na.
Omega, it does feel like
Nandito
they're
na
trying to make
matilugan
it
ni,
work
guys.
with Netsky together with them
Santai,
as long
santai,
as
santai,
much as
jangan
they can
toxic,
whenever
jangan
there's a
toxic.
team fight that breaks
Is
out.
this
So
Steam
when
rank?
that happens, James Bounce
Ni
does
tanaman,
he
bukan
just
rank.
has his eyes
Tanaman,
set on
guys.
Netsky, but he has to be careful
Yes.
to not do that
Tanaman,
same mistake
MPL.
which happened earlier.
Philippines
He
season
did
numbers.
acknowledge that last season he was scared to make mistakes. Now he promised to the bees that he'll be less hesitant to commit plays. And you know what? I'm a little bit more, I'm okay with that. Yes, that was clearly a mistimed call, but it's not at the end of the world. It's still a very close game in terms of the gold. If in an alternate universe or maybe in the next
No,
sequences,
guys, yun na.
if James
Moscow
Bounce
na,
actually
Damaki.
gets Netsky, then the tone of the storytelling
Moscow
is going
na,
to
padang ni guys,
completely
padang
change,
popol.
and James Bounce is going to
Padang
look like a
hijau,
superstar
padang
with being able to
popol
counter
na,
out the
guys.
Matrix.
Moscow dako niya.
And overall, it feels like, Shizu, you could argue
Menurut
that Shizu
aku,
actually got
kalau Moscow
the
niya,
mission completed.
Yeah, exactly.
He got 2 towers
Sampai
on the
Liga
bottom,
belum menang,
and that
guys.
equalized the
Moscow.
goal. It's just a small mix-up like that also
Kalau,
will give
dong,
Omega that short
boleh end
leeway,
cepat,
and you don't want to give
kalah.
Omega anything
No.
at this
Moscow
point.
ni hero lagi
Ryzen doesn't have his immortality yet, but they're still gonna go for it. James already going in, but
Apanya ada
that's a
bencana,
triple
guys.
shot onto
Wah,
Haji from
lost sa penang
X-Nova. James back using the heavy spin on Ryzen once again. Doesn't have the Faraga anymore, and Shizu just planting all of
Wah,
the
aduh.
XOD doesn't land, but that was a perfect last
Banyak,
insanity,
banyak.
forcing away all the
Oh,
members
gila,
of Smart
Bosco
Omega.
punya, guys.
And Shizu just
Double
goes
kill.
after them. Doesn't get to
Oh,
catch
masuk
up.
dalam tahu.
I take it back. It's a triple for
Triple
Shizu.
kill, Moscow.
Silent Kid with a play heard around the world. And just when we were talking about it,
JJ,
not the
Moscow,
end of
JJ,
the
guys.
world for
Siapa ni?
AP Bren. This
Shizu,
time it was
nama dia.
Omega
Shizu,
who
guys.
got caught sleeping. Haji, I don't know why he used that
Nah,
feather
betul kan?
airstrike
Moscow lagi game
right
minggu
in
sakit.
front of a Gato
Nah, Moscow
Gacha.
ni
So
dia main
early
dia
as well, like very early on in the fight, that positioning was
Apanya,
punished
Ibrahim dah kembali,
hard.
guys, ah.
And I was like,
85
oh,
ni.
so that's what they were trying to do
Oh,
earlier.
yeah.
They were a bit too forward.
Way too
All of
forward.
them. And even Ryzen,
Ah,
I know
dia
he
antara
still
yang
had the
motivated,
Faraga
bro.
armor and he had a way to get out of it once you lose the Faraga armor, but he was in a spot that
Dia
could
menang,
still
guys.
get
People
easily
menang
pinned
ni.
down by
Moscow
the
dah
heavy
jadi
spin
naik.
nonetheless. And the duration of the heavy spin is no joke.
Betul,
It
dia
was
anti
still
last
able
guys.
to catch up after the last insanity, or after the Faraga armor went down.
Yeah, and now with a 5,000 gold lead, yes, it's only Lord 1, and it doesn't look like AP Bren doesn't have the
Damage
minion
to
waves right for them to throw bodies. They're still just going to try and get turrets. The Holy Shield is 100% going to get
Ni guys,
popped.
damage dia
If
ni.
they cannot get the turrets here, then yeah, they're just going to be playing around, controlling the map, and then just playing the minion waves so that they can get the next Lord without a problem. Because the bad thing about Omega losing in that time is because now it pushes the lead to around 5k, closing into 6,000 at around the 12 to 13 minute mark. That is a moment in time where you do not want to be at a deficit that large.
Yeah, and folks, remember,
Masuk
this is
triple
from
kill, guys.
zero,
Masuk dalam
from
tower
a
ni,
zero
Moscow.
goal lead to
Oh,
5k in one play.
Well,
And wipeout as well to boot.
Moscow,
Basically
guys,
gave the
damage dia
whole
besar
map to
ni.
AP Bren in
2-0
one
ya,
instance.
2-0.
This
Happy Brand.
Valentina by Aqua is becoming really terrifying as well.
Yeah.
Like the way he just keeps on picking up the last insanity. That last
Yeah,
sequence we
item
saw
Moscow
from
dah beli
Aqua
ni,
was
guys, ah.
just
Apa
so
nama item
perfect
tu?
as
Yang
well.
warna biru tu,
It
yang
was
kalau dia
so
nak
well
mati,
timed. It was
dia
in a
pakai
spot
item tu.
that Smart Omega had no choice but to walk in a single direction or path to get away, and that made it
Apa ni?
so much more easier for Shizu
Some
as well to
zombie
catch up and
clan, you
deal
will see
the
my
right amount of
prediction.
damage. And he's gonna be a harder target to catch right now too, especially
Ni
as
komennya
he
banyak
already
Filipin,
has
guys, ah.
his hands on
Bahasa
that one.
Filipin ni semua.
Sure.
Yeah, good to see Aqua back in the Philippines. To the teams that almost got Aqua, but just for some reason
Kau dari
something happened and
Filipina.
that
Bukan.
he wasn't able to join your team. Well, you guys missed out though. Aqua's
Moscow
still really
is
good.
super
Yeah, he's making a
yeah,
big
Moscow
splash.
boy, guys.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, huge splash, huge impact.
So
Moscow
far,
did
he's
good.
doing what the Valentino. Hold on though.
Oh,
ada
my
water
God,
banyak.
Haji gets cancelled. And look at the damage coming in from
damage
Shizu.
besar,
He
guys.
gets another double kill. Could have potentially picked up a triple
Oh,
only
sakit,
if
sakit, sakit.
Omega stayed a bit longer. But they're gonna respect AP Bren now. They have no choice but to respect them.
Yeah, Omega are crumbling right now. It seems like a few.
Sampai
That's already
sokong
two
MP Bren,
lapses
guys.
in
MP Bren
judgment by
menang,
Haji. Feathered airstrike at the wrong spot. They're not
Banyak
clearing the
Omega kalah ni,
key
guys, ah.
areas that AP Bren could be in. There seems to be a disconnect right now between Haji, Super Yoshi, and Ryzen in terms of just checking crucial areas so that they can get info to see if it's safe
Ni,
to
comment
use
yan,
the Feathered Airstrike. And now, it's bad, because AP Bren,
comment
they're
niya.
going to wait for 14-10.
Banyak Filipin.
Once that passes, they'll break it, then they'll wait for the next wave. AP Bren can win it in the next siege, closing in on 7,000.
Yeah,
Bang, dah
exactly
makan
how they
belum?
do it.
Dah.
I'm super. Is this the what do you call that? Is this a consequence of not picking up Purify on one of these heroes? Is their battle plan getting
Bang,
messed up
lagi lag, bang, ya, lagi
over again?
lag.
Maybe.
I don't think it's the Purify. I mean, again, the Flicker, they
Tournament, yeah.
decided to go with that. The reposition idea is good. It's just that repositioning from a very bad position is just already a tough call.
I know
Once
you
you're in
said position many times there.
No, exactly. When
Iba
you're in a
menang ni,
bad
guys.
spot
Yep.
and you try to make the
That's
most out of it,
Terima.
usually you don't.
Yeah.
Haji,
It's
kayak-
best if you are in a decent spot, even if it's not the best.
Yes.
Because you're
In the
able
first
to
place.
at least put yourself in a better one after that. But if there's like no way out of wherever you put yourself in, then that's what we're seeing from Haji right now, and that's really dealing a lot of problems for Smart Omega.
Aqua.
At least they have some decent wave clear and defense, this is still a farce of Beatrix that we're talking about, but they're syncing up the waves so well.
Yeah, beautiful sync up. Of course, decent wave clear still for Omega is available, so I don't think they'll suffer more than this. But yeah, we're seeing them slowly just getting bumped into their base, and you know, guys, when this happens, you know what's up. We know what's next.
Oh, ada perkembangan berlaku guys. Bencana.
Finds himself under the turret. James doing a great job zoning, but has to flicker out
Santai,
to safety.
santai
Last
dulu.
insanity committed by Aqua just to escape, and as you mentioned, they're able to hold on to their remaining 2 base turrets.
Base gold meta.
I don't think that could have gone significantly better for
Siapa
AP
yang base
Bren,
gold
but
meta? Moskov
I don't think it was just Omega just doing the right things there. AP Bren missed something. It looks like they were scared to dive under that
gila,
tower
Moskov
when
guys,
Lord
dia
JM
biasa
got
dan
picked.
benar.
Yeah, there were minion waves that they needed to deal with, and with the tower being more than 50% health, it would have been risky. But I feel like they could have pulled the trigger on a play there. They would have lost 2, bringing the lead down to maybe around 4,000, but that isn't a bad loss. That would have been a trade. If 2 for 1, at most 2 for 2, and then that means it's still good for you.
Could have been actually games they got free.
Yeah, I feel like they were too cautious there.
I mean, James also jumped in.
Cooldown dia
so
lagi
he
apa? Lagi legend
got
eh.
some attention
Bling-bling
from
ya.
some of the members of AP Bren, but I feel like they could have
Right.
been a bit more decisive.
Yeah.
Even if it's just on James, because he was
Okay,
already
nak
in
check
that.
buff. Apa ni?
But either way, Ryzen's still trying to attempt to take this.
Yeah.
Will successfully do
Aduh,
so,
sebut apa,
but
guys?
we have 30
Bawah.
seconds before this upcoming Lord, and the waves are going to be such a huge problem for Smart Omega.
Yeah, so that few seconds is going to be super crucial in this next one. We are talking about Omega. What is the comeback play here? What's it looking like for Ryzen as well, as well as Netsky? Netsky has not actually shown up all game long, running 0-1 on the Beatrix.
Yeah, the man is farmed up though. Like in terms of items,
Ni
he's
suara
good.
YouTube
Don't have to worry
dengar
about the damage he can dish out. They do have the true damage going around through Ryzen. Although Ryzen could have more items here, he had to go for a bit of a chop suey build to just
Nah,
chase
so YouTube.
raw physical and magic defense points. Now it doesn't look like AP Bren, or excuse me, Omega will actually be able to contest this healthily. They'll be forced to give it up. And you asked about the condition. The condition now for Omega is simple. Turn it around through defense.
At least they have some skills and some resources to bank on, but only if AP Bren weren't as hesitant earlier in this upcoming fight, it could go sideways for Smart Omega, because I feel like they tried their best to defend already earlier. Like they put James in the front a bit more. They had Ryzen to clear out the waves coming in first, and then Haji and Netsky just from a distance. They're most likely gonna replicate that. But if AP Bren has a different plan in mind this time, it could go better for them.
Yeah, so this is take 2. Let's see what change they're going to do here. Right on front here is Lord JM. He's actually quite low.
Guys, ada perang
That's a
baku
nice
guys.
jump coming in from James and
Whoa.
the flicker as well. James Pass already forced to use the heavy spin also.
What is happening here?
Okay, I think this is where I have to give Omega a little bit more credit. They are clearing up the mid-minion waves very well. That is difficult for AP Bren to actually pull the trigger in a tower dive in the mid or in the top. But at some point, it's a game of patience now, because I also understand the hesitation of AP Bren. If they slip up, it's going to be a devastating loss. And we saw it from them and from multiple teams in the Philippines all across season 15 that they try to end it. It's 6,000 plus, it's the late game, their tower's up, they dive, they think that they're okay. But you get it, because the 6,000 gold lead at this point doesn't really matter, because Omega are pretty stacked in items as well.
This is just what happens, right? We are in a point where everyone is on, what they call that? Critical mass.
Yeah.
Everyone's critical mass. Even if they're behind, it feels like everyone is on level.
Yeah.
So they know that one slip up could really snowball really badly. Netsky from 0-1 could easily turn 5-1.
Yeah. I've seen too many Beatrix users suddenly
Jangan guys, nanti aku
delete
full screen
the
guys.
opposing team.
Then you're gonna get run over, basically, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So I guess those war flashbacks are happening right now for AP Bren.
Maybe.
That's happened to them so many times in the last season as well, where they were ahead by so much, and then they just lost the series
I
altogether.
think I'm gonna give caveman analysis here. Throw bodies, hit tower. Bro, you can do it.
I think they can with Shizu just like so crazy right now.
Yeah,
I think they do have the power to do it.
Just James Banks, Aqua, X-Nova, Lord JM just have this like promise of loyalty of like, we are all going to fall.
Belum
But
enak
that
guys.
means
Dah
Shizu
minit
just gets
20
to
nih.
lock the tower and we're okay and we
Bang,
win.
skor dah berapa? 10-5.
Yeah, AP Brand together strong.
I mean, that's the
Happy
idea of
Brands,
their lineup,
Pulo,
right?
Omega
It's
lima.
That should be it.
together.
Again,
Strong.
Bang,
I cannot
menurut
doubt
lu siapa
why
menang?
they're. I can't understand why
Kalau
they're
menurut
playing it
aku,
so
Happy Brand
safely. But
guys,
at this point, if you play
Alam,
safely
Moskov ini,
all throughout the game, your opponent also
damage
reads
dia tu
that.
dah jadi
They can
kita
play
lagi.
around it.
Just go monkey, man.
Because
Go
we thought,
monkey.
Kalau
they were
minit
just so
10,
dive heavy. So
11, 11,
it's weird to
13
see
minit,
them not
Moskov,
diving.
Yeah, the
damage
problem is
dia
they've
tak
waited
masuk
for
akal.
so long that Omega, their 6K gold lead really
Yeah, bang,
doesn't matter
Moskov
now for
meta,
AP Brand. Like,
Moskov.
Omega can just turn it
Moskov
around
meta,
already.
guys.
Come on, guys, move. You gotta get that stick. You poke AP Brand, do something.
Oh,
Ada war guys.
AP Red who might actually do
Oh,
something.
menang eh.
The final stab to Zalando, and now that's the counter Tsunami Slam landed onto Lord JM, but the Veteran Airstrike, it's just being used, but gets cancelled for Jinfax. SOD will land as well. Shizu gets to
Moskov
find
ini,
it
guys.
onto James, but X-Nova and Aqua
Gata,
blocking the
tak mati
paths
pun.
of the members of
Oh
Omega
my
who are trying
God.
to run away. That's an immortality
Gata, satu
pop
dari
for
lima tak
Super
mati,
Yoshi,
guys.
but James finds Aqua in exchange for Ryzen.
okay.
Gata
1-for-1 trade. No jungle on the other side. AP Brand will be able to get the
Tapi
sword
dia
without
kata
a
S-
problem.
S-Nova, guys.
See,
S-Nova.
sometimes you just gotta go monkey. Just go for it.
Yeah, it looked really bad for a second, but then X-Nova was in front of Netsky. Netsky
Apa
could
doon
not
na-
do
ang
anything,
tatal,
man.
Yeah, there are too many blade armors also on the side of
Ni
AP Brand.
tatalas
Oh, wait. Slam slam?
They still want to go for it. Penetrate gets
Mana
dodged. Lord J, what a beautiful usage of the vengeance.
Eh,
And now
bukan
Haji gets
Lord.
deleted.
Aduh,
Shizu's godlike.
Lord,
Two-man
Lord.
stun coming in from Lord JM. And now they're just trying to run away. But Netsky has no
Nah, dia ada
way
warning, guys.
out. Gets to use the Wind of Nature, but that's not going to save him. It's only Super Yoshi and James. And even Super
Alhamdulillah.
Yoshi will fall.
There you
There's
go.
no need for a Lord.
Double
AP
kill.
Red, it's them finally.
Guys, Moskov,
running
guys.
towards the
Shinzo
base
menang,
and
guys.
trying to end the game. They'll pick up the kill onto
Happy
James
Brand
before
menang.
doing so. And now,
Whoa.
after 22 minutes, AP Brand
Happy
secures
Brand
game
menang,
number
guys.
1.
Omega kalah.
Can you believe it? It's AP Brand coming out on top.
Happy Brand menang eh.
After that
Moskov
very
ni,
shaky
guys.
initiation there, I really
Power,
thought
guys,
that was
Moskov
going to
na.
fall over, but you know what? They picked up after them so
Ni
very
bahaya
well.
ni guys.
Got that win.
Clip ini,
Remember
Happy
this
Brand.
day? Sometimes caveman
Siapa
analysis
menang
just
bang?
works.
Happy Brand, Happy
Throw
Brand.
bodies, lock tower. Except this time it was throw bodies multiple times, and then you realize you actually do still have a lead. You have the damage, you're good. Your lineup is still way too difficult for the side of Omega to handle, and you're fine.
Yeah.
Apparently, they were fine.
It should have been over 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago.
You're right. What was the longest game yesterday? I feel like
No,
we had
ni
a
ada squad lain
23
juga
minute
guys.
Yeah, it was like around
Ada
23
enam squad.
This one's 20.
Very lengthy.
But then again,
Aku baru
I
tahu
think
dulu,
everyone,
guys.
even the
Happy Brand,
viewers watching
Omega,
right now, will agree
Onyx,
that
Chili,
that
Onyx
should have been
Gates.
over like way sooner.
Evos eh, katanya tadi
We
Evos.
all
Evos
understand the
Page.
hesitation.
Lagi siapa lagi ni?
Moments where sometimes you really just gotta go, guys.
Bang lagi live stream
Let's
bang.
go.
Ya
At
lagi
least it
live
wasn't
stream.
turned
Aduh
around.
guys, sorry
Yeah.
guys.
It happened to Team Liquid thrice in MSC, and they
Team
still
Liquid,
walked away as
guys.
champions.
There was like a small sliver of
Team
maybe
Liquid,
something could happen,
yes.
but then again, James Banks says, "No, Netsky, no, it's
Yes,
Shizu
I
who's the
guys.
MVP here
Oh
with
my
8-0 and 3 on that Moscow."
He's bulletproof.
Apan guys ya, bunuh dia.
I
Mati
know,
kosong.
I know
Shizao.
Netsky did a great job yesterday, but all I could see for this game was Shizu.
Yeah.
From the laning phase up until the moments wherein they had
Yes,
to
may Moskov dia.
go through team fights. And I don't know, like, Shizu, when he was needed the most to do the split pushes, he delivered. When he was needed in the team fights, he delivered just the same.
Shizao,
Basically
Shizao.
positioned everywhere that AP Brand needed him to. Even in the team fights that AP Brand would look like they would lose,
Gila, ni
Shizu
bencana
was
guys, ah.
alive. Shizu was doing
Banyak
the
wall
job,
eh.
and Shizu was getting things done.
Yeah, with a
She's
perfect
very much
game,
talented
it
also.
means that his positioning, his timing, all of it was near perfect. Just a tough target to catch for the members of Omega. SOD would be coming in, came in from time to time. It's just the perfect time. He got that highlight triple kill here.
Masih dah tahu
The fact
guys ya.
that he was just too difficult to catch for Omega.
Masih
It
mati
meant
triple
that
kill.
AP Brand just was way too tanky and had too much damage, safe damage, for Omega to handle.
Yeah, Shizu wasn't like the super
Terlalu
highlight
OP
player.
guys
He
ang
wouldn't do
Moscow,
those crazy SOD out of nowhere, but he's very consistent. His positioning here in these team fights, no one could touch him.
Yeah, Shizu went to work.
He was 0 deaths up
Zero
until like
death.
the very end of the
Kill
game.
8 guys.
That was beautiful.
Beda pun
Beautiful
8.
to see here. James obviously valiant effort trying to clear those
Bahaya
minion
niya.
waves. Can't really do that at this point. This is 22 minutes. Those minions be chonking.
I mean, I don't know if like we're seeing such a great connection between Shizu and Aqua. I think they're both known to be very quiet players
Yeah.
outside the game, but in
Ano,
this game,
detail,
I
guys,
don't know. Like,
Ada emblem,
it doesn't seem to be the
gold,
case.
tower,
The two
semua
quietest dudes who were just absolute monsters in this
Tanaman
game.
ng Philippines
Maybe they're
guys.
communicating with telepathy at this point.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so curious. How is the comms for
New
like,
comms.
Yeah.
Item,
Lord
guys,
JM really needs to fix his comms with his ultimate though.
Jeez. Oh, yes.
There were a few
That's
missed
almost
final slashes, but I like how for every missed final slash he had a final slash that followed afterwards that was just, hey guys, here you go.
Yeah.
You're welcome. It's like, thank you, Lord JM.
The team fights were going so long
Yeah.
that he had to take two
Oh, banyak beli apa?
every
Beli
time.
ammo.
Yeah, so for every error, he always made up for it,
Yeah.
which I
Oh,
commend
ammo
as an
counter niya.
EXP laner who does mess up a lot. I
Counter
relate to
item
that.
niya.
Yeah, or if it's not the
Full
final slash
damage.
right after, it's a clutch
Okay.
vengeance that just saves him and or resource from Smart Omega, which already does a lot
Yeah.
for AP Brand to continue and be confident enough to proceed with the fights.
Yeah.
Doesn't take away from the fact that Xnova has definitely played so well here. On his debut for this one, very impressive positioning. And again, he knows the job. He knows what it needs to get done. That's the only way that you can actually slow down Super Yoshi to this level. That's the only way you could stop Netsuki in the late game as well as a Gatot Gacha. Very
Yeah.
impressive for this guy.
Yeah, full screen eh.
Somehow, Smart Omega, especially coming in from yesterday, are a bit like overheating from
You think so?
the win that they had, because like even for
Yes.
Haji, there were a bit of questionable positionings here and there, which we did point out. Netsuki, we did observe that he's been a bit more careful in terms of his playstyle, but maybe we need a bit more of the former Nets Fresco playstyle now.
I'll be the other guy. I'll be the guy on the other side of that thought. I feel like Netsuki just really couldn't
Chicken,
find
clear
time
niya,
for that.
chicken.
Because AP Brand were not giving him the space. Again, at the end of the draft, we were talking about it simply.
Without
AP Brand just had a front-heavy lineup that can break the formation of Omega really well. Omega are coming into this with a lineup that's static around the Farsa, have a very clear tight formation. AP Brand can be
Nah,
afford,
guys, ako
can afford to be a
nag-chicken,
little
guys.
bit messy. The last pick, X-Borg, meant they even had an X-Borg on their side alongside the Nakai, alongside the Gatot Kacha, that it was just way too difficult for Omega to pull this off. And yes, I will continue my theme from MSC. Akai, folks.
Hi, man.
The church of
Akai.
Akai is beaming strong.
Okay, full
Of course,
screen.
BPI rich guy here. Shizu, very silent, very deadly, and very curly.
Very
The hair just really gets me. I love Shizu's hair, man.
Silent, deadly, and
and
curly.
It's just
So,
don't
Pamela, saan
blame
palawan?
the guy. Don't hate the
Tignan
player.
na, Omega Gear.
the
Oh.
hairstyle.
He kept the hairstyles.
Grabe,
It fits
Pamela,
him
guys,
very well. It's very
Diba guys,
attention-seeking.
ako,
that broke
Okay.
minamay dun.
I'm gone, dude.
Okay.
Can we throw to the next segment?
Just throw it in
I
the-
can't recover from this.
That's, I'll have to avoid looking at Shizu from now on.
It's just gonna catch you, right? Here's the ping test, though, just to show us some tournament integrity right here.
Lang wala ba? Sinas na ba to? Kwentuhan nyo ako, pre. Kwentuhan nyo ako.
Jin, anong top ng ano mo? Dati mo team na nag-Cambodia.
Ha? Hindi ko alam, pre.
Champion?
Champion na ata yun eh. Pumasok lang ako ng top 8. English kasi, pare.
Rookie of the season. Dod, ikaw na bahala sa amin, daddy ah. Debut game of It's Gonna Be Nova. The boys are back. Tingnan natin kung matindi yung mga bagong AP Bren ah. Kung pinalakas ba? Haji versus Aqua, dad. Pinanis mo na yun, dad? Sakto lang, oy! Game, guys. Pause nga tayo. Paranas naman mag-playoffs. Garo, walang nanonood pag ano. Pag tayo talaga naglalaro, walang nanonood eh, no?
Last season, nakita namin yun eh, versus Omega.
5 lang ata yung nanonood eh. Okay lang yan, tol. Pag nag-playoffs naman yan, tol, solid yan. Iba na pakiramdam ko ngayon sa stage, tol, ah. Nung una, kinakabahan agad ako, checkping pa lang eh. Excited ako, ngayon. Finals MVP, X gonna be Nova. Sa mga manonood ng laban namin ngayon, tatandaan ko yan. Hi guys! Sorry, di ako masyado sasalita. Focus ako sa game. Mamaya shoutout ko yung lahat.
That's smart. He was not done.
Yeah, like
that was a smart thing.
Snuck in there at the right
I
time.
love that. That was beautiful.
My favorite line was him saying, I want to experience being in the playoffs.
Just once, right? Just once. And this is a big throwback as well to the 5 Echo fans. This is basically the 5 AP Brand Bs.
All
5
right.
Bs or something.
Yeah.
You gotta cook something up for these guys. Because they're saying that, you know, when we play, we don't see as many people watching.
But hey,
not
actually,
yet.
right now, the AP Brand side does have more viewers than the Omega side.
They do.
So there's a hopeful. And I like how, again, because of the history of what happened with like AP Brand into Team Falcons, AP Brand Falcons, all that, Falcons AP Brand, is that there are people I saw here yesterday while cheering for Falcons, now cheering for AP Brand. And I'm pretty sure they also have tickets for the second match, so that they're just gonna be here. Because they're also going to be cheering for Falcons against Twisted later.
Basically dual citizenship.
Yeah, they have dual citizenship. Yeah, one in Manila, one in Riyadh.
I wonder how the fancy Klavan teams for these two teams are
I
going.
would love to see that.
I feel it's like an awkward family reunion. It's like, hey.
Again, so many people turned up here, but again, the weather. Guys, the weather, it's really very cloudy, very rainy.
There is a storm.
There is a storm. So
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm really surprised there's still a lot of people watching here today. Even if I bought, I wouldn't really go out usually. But man, these fans are real. They're wild. They're crazy. I love them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to game 2.
Hello.
A big does Omega right now feel familiar to you? What Omega's doing here? What do you guys think about this?
Omega did give them difficulty, but at those times it felt like a little bit more
AP
because
Brand,
of AP Brand's errors.
go.
Like they made a mistake and Omega capitalized, and a lot of their wins yesterday against the NC Pro team came from that idea. The NC Pro team made mistakes and they capitalized. But as we saw, if AP Brand have their positions right, have their timings right, their draft was just way too difficult for a very static focused lineup for Omega to deal with. Because again, they're playing an X-Borg with a Lapu-Lapu that yes, if it's snowballed, maybe a different story. But even then, he'll get mispositioned and misplaced so quickly through that Akai that the X-Borg of Ryzen doesn't have enough support for him to do really well.
Yeah, and even another thing mentioned in the HOW was the entire Super Yoshi catch hero, which they had. I feel like they had. It was a Kalea in Super Yoshi's hands, which we could say is well complemented by the Farsa, because that's what you're always looking for when you have a hero that could really go for setups. But compared to yesterday, it felt a bit less coordinated as well. Like a smart Omega overall. I do feel like even yesterday, it took some time for them to find their footing, to find their control and dominance, especially in the mid portions of the map. It's not that instant once they get into the game, but here it never felt like they figured it out, not even amongst themselves, because I guess it's also the nature of the lineup that's, as you mentioned, too scattered maybe. Maybe they were forced to bring out this hero last minute too from the export, because it was indeed a commendable drafting sequence from AP Brand that we saw earlier, even in anticipation of the Fanny, even in anticipation of all that.
That's true. This export really was, it felt like it was like, you don't really have a choice.
It was good at first, but like...
And then you gave away, then you realize, oh my god, the Valentina.
Yeah. I think that's also something you really have to commend AP Brand for doing. The fact that they picked that Valentina as one of the last picks. Yes, it was risky in that they were now a very close range focused lineup playing around one major egg in the basket, which is the Moskov, but they were able to make it work, and because of how their lineup was built, it was the right gambit to take at the right time. That now looking back, it's like, okay, you know what? The Valentina was perfect. It was the perfect time to pick it. It was and I feel like maybe there's even a portion of me that believes that AP Brand expected the X-Borg to come through. That's why they picked up the Valentina.
That's so forward-thinking of you, man.
Yeah.
Wow, beautifully done.
It's Aqua, bro.
It's Aqua. Again.
Yeah, because I feel like if it were me, or if it were any other like mage, maybe not here in MPL, I guess, it's like you would just immediately think of ways to counter the Farsa in the opposing side,
like
or
force yourself on the eaves, maybe.
or maybe cancel or match like the range. And that's why it was surprising that they didn't go for range.
To work also, trust me, all of the is back.
they absolutely
All RPB
did not
guys,
go
ah.
for range there, and it still
Napamina
worked.
Philippines.
Again, that foresight is more impressive when you think
Tuwo
that
ko
the
sa
Valkyrie was
percaya
picked
cakap
first
ako, Epibiran
before the
mesti
exploit.
menang.
And it
Okay.
went that well because of last insanity
Laila first
at the
pick.
same time in those team fights. So again, it feels like you're right.
Laila
This is very similar to
first
what we saw
out the
yesterday
win,
as well for
katanya.
Omega, where they weren't strong right out the gates.
No.
They needed to pick up steam to get those wins, and
Okay,
as well, they
mantap
were
guys.
also
Kaya
capitalizing
Epibiran
on some
pakai
errors.
Laila, mantap
In
guys. ah.
fairness, in this one, just like
Auto win.
yesterday, TNC were making errors. Omega capitalized.
Too many
We saw some
instead
glimpses
of-
of that.
Yeah. I feel like they...
Sabar,
Omega
sabar.
Esports
Jangan
in game
tak isi
number
dulu
one
adik-adik.
overthought the
Sabar,
Wuset
sabar.
gang ban. I wasn't a big fan of that. I understand
Sabar
why they
dulu,
were
sabar
banned
dulu.
Kimmy,
Gamenya kamu
The two
dulu.
mid bans,
Yeah, but that easily could have also been a gacha
Okay,
gacha
WS,
ban, and this
1-1
could have been a
defend,
different
guys,
story. But no
Epibiran.
point crying over spilled milk as milk
Zishan sama Alot di ban.
as we go to the draft
Omega.
for game
That's
number
the thing.
2. And right now it's Omega taking away the Arlot of Lord JM.
Aku zoom nga na.
So that's gonna be one of the biggest changes for
That's
now,
the big,
or at least now that Smart Omega will be in the blue side.
Sabi ni
Is it
menang
gonna
eh.
be- So maybe the Phobius Glue CC options are gonna be available later on for both of the EXP laners. Although we did mention that the Tempo Controller EXPs work best for Smart Omega. So might they want to prioritize the CC just so they could ensure that they have that?
Obi di ban.
Oh, yeah, okay. So
There it is.
that's why Omega's taking away those. Arlot gone,
Haji ban ni
Phobius
guys.
gone.
Phobius.
They're already signaling to AP Brand that Omega actually want to go for the CC
Sizo ban
rush.
siapa ni guys?
And the CC
It's
has
Nova, it's Nova.
really dominated as well, even on day one, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna see a lot of that for sure getting picked up here today, especially with bands like V's. You just can't go wrong with it.
Unless they want another Farsa Prio. But considering what happened earlier, I'm not so sure.
So that would be like 5 games
But
of
the
Haji
Lancelot's
playing
here too,
Farsa.
wait.
Yeah,
There you go.
There it is.
okay. I like that.
Because
Now, if AP Brand's gonna go static with their mid lane, they're now gonna think twice about picking up the Farsa early.
Kenapa dah ada komen ni?
The jungle pick's probably gonna come in red 3. I think if I'm
Main
AP
game
Brand,
MPL
they have to
ke?
steal the CC
Main.
away.
Yeah.
If
Ni guys ada
not, they
comment,
still
guys.
do have a Hilda option that they could lean into later on. They go Uranus and Farsa. Okay, so they do pick up the Farsa. Uranus, again, after what happened in MSC, I'm not the biggest fan of, but
Yeah.
Halo,
You're still
saya
going
budak
to the
kok
jungle.
sama mukanya.
Yeah.
Play
you
of
could.
Gods, yeah,
Uranus
man.
in MSC
Main game ML ke? Man.
exceedingly hyped, but did not really deliver.
Masih
Like,
Zaran
here comes
sa komen guys. Masih.
not a fan of it.
Nah, still not as good as you can. You can be like King Kong on Uranus and still, you know.
Yeah, just then go ahead, park that Uranus in the
Mukanya
EXP
sama.
lane.
Hi.
For sure.
Yes, it's just there. You're gonna have to compensate with more crowd control across the board, though, for the roam, jungle, gold. Even if you can get some really good, solid crowd control through that, but then it's slim pickings for that.
Oh man, Game's having a lot of fun in that Lapu Lapu right here. You know what? This Uranus is
Okay.
making me think for XP.
Depan Basya guys.
Coach Jeff is like, all right, Lord JM. You saw what happened earlier?
Lancelot, lapu-lapu sama Hari. Dipik sama Omega ni.
Obviously, I'm just assuming.
Uranus, Basya,
It's so
dipik
hard to
sama
go wrong with
Epibiran.
the Uranus on the XP.
It's a possibility too.
But with the Haji,
Nova pakai siapa guys?
with the
Chow.
Haru advantage though.
Chow
It's an
guys.
X-Nova comfort.
That's
Terus
X-Nova,
ni
right?
guys,
Yeah.
dipakai.
Pick off, burst, single target. No clear
Waduh,
crowd
ni Bruce Lee nak
control
siapa Harid
through
guys
to
ya.
Uranus.
Atau Lancelot guys dia nak lock.
I think AP Bren still have enough
Siapa
room
menang,
to
guys?
go
Siapa
for a
enggak?
fighter or tank in the
Omega atau
jungle.
Epibiran?
They just compensate through raw damage for whatever your
Epibiran
gold
bang,
laner
Epibiran.
will be.
Epibiran lah.
There was a time in MSC where I always
lah, guys,
was
ako-
thinking, you know what? If you're gonna
Tak tahu
pick
lagi
up
sih ya.
Harith,
Kalau ada
even though most
Lancelot ni
teams
macam
usually pick
Omega
the
guys.
result, just pick up a carry in your lineup already.
Kan ada
The
Chow.
laning is okay because you're forcing the Harith
Nanti
to
dulu,
use
kita
one
siapa
dash
pakai,
to if
Sizau,
ever you get to
Sizau.
catch it with the light wheel that you toss out. That's already one
Sizau
dash out.
ben
and
siapa
then
ni?
You already know how to play around the
Selena.
through that.
Yeah.
Selena guys dapat.
But they take out the Selena now for Aqua though. Still, I mean, if it's Aqua we're
Selena
talking
di-ban,
about, there
okay.
definitely are a lot of other options out there. But I'm wondering if they would want to
Ayah
balance it
Busa.
out with a bad
Di-ban
handle
sama
for future
Sopoyoshi
games.
guys.
Because I feel like
Nah,
making
Ibusa
things
masakit guys.
so
Selalu
much
kalau dia rank
harder
epic
for
pun selalu ban
Super
Ibusa.
Yoshi greatly impacts
Legend
the
sama
way
juga
Smart Omega
ban.
are able to play.
Yeah.
some of the signature heroes we know for Super Yoshi, especially in the previous season, are the likes of the Badam. I'm wondering if
Si
they're
Zhao
gonna
guys,
be
agak pakai siapa
considering
guys?
that later on. I think
Moscow
that would be
lagi
a
ya?
great
Pakai.
option.
Yeah, I could see that.
Kan lawan Harit tuh, susah Moscow.
We're still gonna go the Cho.
Harit
I think
ke
Omega would also want to consider taking away the Joy. Just so if you
Joy,
really want to hammer
Captain
down the
Joy,
idea of like, alright, James Miles, you are not getting damage. What's he gonna do? Go into a lane? No.
Mia,
Hi again.
Laila bang, pakai.
Just kidding.
Oh,
Laila to win
happy with
eh.
Anakai, yeah.
Happy plan.
Anakai in the jungle, and then you just pick up a carry
Oh,
as
I
a gold
lost
laner,
it,
or even a
the-
Beatrix. You just need raw basic attack. I hope that they don't go down the route of, okay, Granger and the Farsa together because you have range. I'd want to see
Yeah,
Shizo end up with
don't
someone
bend
that has
dulu,
just
ah.
really good basic attack. They can
Don't
even
pakai
go back to
lagi
playing
ni.
the Moskov even.
Yeah, actually that's a bad
That's
idea to
key,
actually
guys,
just rely too much
Depends
on
on-
Ranger and Farsa, because if, for example, your opponent dives on you, the angles go
Penny,
off.
what
They go off
the
angle and
Penny
you actually mess
defense.
up a lot. We've seen that happen multiple times.
Okay guys, si Zhao dia pakai siapa guys?
so might they not be considering
Kalau
that
menurut
guy?
teori aku ni Moskov
They
guys.
banned out the Fanny still,
Kalau bukan Moskov,
or is it just like to be safe?
apa guys? Laila bang, Laila.
Yeah.
Si Zhao pakai Laila.
Moskov right
Auto
now.
mid
At least
eh.
you have someone opening up the map. Because Omega right now want to play a tight formation with the
Laila
heroes
lawan
that
Harit
they show.
bro.
You
Counter
can
dia apa
save
ni?
the James Bounce hero for later, honestly.
Nathan lah.
Or again, just
Mungkin boleh jadi Nathan
Akai,
guys lawan Harit.
playing around Akai, Farsa, Moskov, and
Okay,
it's
guys,
Cho
Zhao.
and a Uran
Come on.
burst.
That's very slow, right?
Pull out.
Okay.
Okay.
I like
This I
that.
like. Yeah, I prefer
Okay,
this.
come on guys. Okay.
And as we were talking about earlier, basic attack.
Yes.
That's what you needed to get.
Yeah, and the ability
Wait, dah
to
kena, guys.
reposition and
Eh.
I feel like once the members of Smart Omega dive in too deep and leave their
Kalau
damage
guys
dealer
ya, si Zhao lock
for
pakai.
too long, then that's gonna be a
Lawannya Harit.
Shizo. But that's the thing. Who is the other damage dealer?
You know, I wouldn't be mad if
Okay,
Omega
ni
picked
guys,
up
apa
with a
Yoshi
Franco
sama Diski
I
guys.
love a Franco. Come on, Yoshi.
Or
Yoshi.
Franco or even a Minotaur.
Oh Yoshi Roma guys
how
ya.
about the
Roma.
Grok? Just-
Grok's
Oh my God.
okay too because you're up against the Claw, the Cho, the Farsa. Just toss out
Cancel it
the.
out.
Ya,
Tectonic.
Grok okay juga Grok. Damage susah guys Grok.
Throw that out again.
Okay, so he does end up with the
There's the
signature
Badang.
Badang.
Badang,
It's still the Badang. One of the
Badang
picks that we
Roma.
posted earlier.
That's better.
Okay,
Okay,
Kimi.
they're gonna go for a
Okay.
double carry centered around
Okay, like, Kimi
magic
meta guys,
damage. But they do also have a carry in the Lancelot. I like the damage, crowd control, range spread of Omega. Mid-range, well, long-range technically.
Like,
is the
Kimi,
ultimate of the
ma-
Kimi, but I like this
Roma
lineup
to
by
golden
OMG.
eh.
We might
Mid
go
lane
into
eh.
a game number 3 unless Lord JM
Mid lane
shows
guys.
more crowd control. They need more of crowd control. It cannot
Harit
just be the
golden,
Cho.
okay, Harit golden.
What
Lawan
else is
clone
left in
eh.
terms of crowd control?
Ni lawan
Yeah.
JM guys,
Was
pakai
it
siapa ni?
blue? But like
Alatnya dari ban eh.
that's not even much.
They have to go for...
Tadi dia pakai
This
Arlot eh.
Uranus is an
Like
EXP
GM.
laner. They have to go for something like an
Pakai Arlot
Akai
tadi.
or a Benua.
Okay, Vendetta.
Wait. You just said
Benedetta.
XP later, but what?
Okay,
Isn't
Harit
that on
ni guys.
XP, right?
So
Wait,
you're making James Bounce play a
Vendetta
Uranus
SP,
jungle.
guys.
not unless it's a Benedetta jungle, but it's
Nah,
not likely gonna happen.
Jungle.
Years since we've seen that. I
Benedetta,
think literally years.
yeah, Benedetta
Oh
the
yeah,
EXP
Vendetta
lane.
jungle guys.
Cure up, okay. Petrify, Electo Final Blow, through for the
Ni
Harris.
Not
Vendetta.
bad.
SP lang sa jungle guys.
The lineup of Omega just, AP Brand just feels scattered in thought.
I mean, even in the game, for sure it'll scatter, right?
I prefer the overall cohesiveness that we're
Kasi
seeing
game dah
from the
masuk.
lineup of Omega bit
Game
more.
kedua guys, Epic
But
Brand lawan
maybe
Omega.
the
Siapa
Benedetta
menang
might just,
na?
show
Ayo
up
teka, tembak.
to deliver enough surprises,
Filipino,
especially with the
Filipino.
Petrify and Electo Final Blow.
I feel like if the Benedetta
Ay,
and
duduk
the
guys,
Uranus work together hand in
Uranus
hand
main
well
jungler.
enough,
What the heck?
that's a lot of disruption.
Uranus bro.
but
How do you do that as a Uranus?
It's messy.
You
It's
throw
messy.
plates around you.
It's so awkward.
Vendetta is
Yeah, right?
We're gonna have
Exactly.
to play around so much. We'll find out if that is gonna be the big difference maker here, whether the Benedetta is gonna make or break
Okay,
the
kita dah
lineup
sebelum menang, guys.
AP Brand.
Let's
We're
go.
going to game 2, folks, and it looks like their AP Brand's going for something that's not really tried and tested. Maybe Lord
Kameranya
Game
boleh
has
ikut gitu.
hidden some training
Okay.
with this hero.
So they go for a fast clear, send the Benedetta in the
Okay.
mid lane so that they can pressure the Lapu-Lapu together.
Oh.
Siya tak dapat
Good
chip
start,
bang, guys.
good initial rotation. X-Nova also didn't get taken out as he was deeply diving into the jungle of Omega to try and scatter up Ryzen. They're going to continue the aggression.
Okay, bencana guys,
I
ada
see
wah.
it now,
Wah,
okay.
wah, wah.
See the vision now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 3-man stun though, coming in from Haji. Might force
Aduh,
AP
Uranus
Brand to
ke
back
bawah.
off a bit.
Ciao dah nak mati
So
lah.
I guess it's fast clear and constant invades
Yeah.
that AP Bren wants to do,
Pasal
but
Benita lang lapu-lapu kalah
seemingly enough
Benita.
damage for Smart Omega to deal with
Mati
it.
ni ya.
Yeah, it's
Benita.
definitely something that's very punishable here. Like, if you want to go in Omega's face, Omega does not mind. They
Yeah.
don't care if you go in their face. You're gonna get punched, literally, by a
Isi
hero.
darah, isi darah.
So
By
AP
Omega.
Yeah,
Kosong-kosong
AP Bren
eh.
are hoping that they can
Bang,
take
lagi
control
live, bang.
of this
Yeah,
game by
lagi
Turtle
live.
1 or Turtle 2 just by, okay, they get to clear their own jungle safely without that much of a problem. They'll bother the rotation of Omega, and then it might just get to the point where after a Turtle 1 or a Turtle 2, they're already invading into the purple buff, or just the jungle of Omega overall, meaning that they'll be able to take control of the game through there.
Yeah. So it's gonna be so important that AP Bren successfully get to do that for the first few objectives, because if not,
Nah,
then
Kevin tatal guys. Tatayin dah
Smart
kuat eh.
Omega just doing their thing, and Ryzen is just so confident right
Guys, aku
now.
dapat tatal ni guys.
So I think
Yo,
both
Ranu
teams
sa ke
were
depan bro.
just gonna
Kapan
fight
ni,
for
Ranu
this.
sa-
That's a nice battery fight.
Kaya
coming
wide
from
open
JM
guys,
though.
lapu-lapu
James
dah
still gets to
ganti.
dodge it nonetheless. That's a Thorn
Oh,
throw
mati
that
guys,
lands
Benita
right
mati
into
dulu,
Lord
guys.
JM, and it's a two-man stun.
Padang dah
Go
puna.
Super Yoshi as well.
Yikes.
Ryzen definitely making things happen. Goes in
Ciao,
for the
mati.
double kill, and
Paisa
Shizo as
mati.
well tries
Kimi
to
mati
find
juga,
a
guys.
trade with the Blazing Duet, but that's
Ranu
gonna be
mati,
about
guys.
it.
Whoa!
James Pack's barely surviving here, but he won't last up against 3.
Yeah, that was like watching a car crash in slow motion happening
Yeah.
in our faces.
No, I'll be honest here. I
Salah
don't
sama
Shizu
badan
just
ni,
wanted to
mati,
focus
bro.
on the farm, but I feel like he actually could have helped James
Ranu
Pass a
kebal.
little bit there. Although he did already use the Blazing Duet, and makes sense why he'd want to play it safe. At the end of it all, though,
Yeah,
AP Bren
depends on apa
still
dia,
get to walk away with the turtle. They didn't even need
No,
James
Uranus
Pass to
meta
secure
guys,
it. So maybe
Meta
that
jungle
raw
dia.
sustain that they have through the Uranus jungle might just be one of the X factors that Omega need to watch out for. Because if you blow all your abilities at one go, yes, they got kills, yes, they got nice combos, but they still lost the objective at the end of the day.
So at the very end, like, it's like your friend driving so fast, and you say you're complaining about it, but you know you didn't die.
Yeah, you
They got there in the end.
you got there in the end. You got where you needed to go.
It's about sustaining and just prolonging things.
Basically
for
catching
AP
all the
Bren.
skills, right? Because
Yeah.
catching all the skills is working for this Uranus, at least so far. I don't know what this is gonna look like later on,
That's
but yeah, I guess we'll see.
Bang, kok mukanya macam
Eye for
Roblox?
eye.
Oh ya.
Again, Ryzen here to rise up.
Hello.
now.
Baru
Oh,
download
there's
nih,
retribution
pakai
also
filter,
used
filter.
as well. Aqua goes in for the stun.
Oh, mati guys,
And
nice
they
lot.
find the outplay
Bang Benita.
onto Ryzen.
Yo, Ryzen's gonna end up on the highlight reel, but it's not for him.
Uranus guys, satu lang
Nasty,
tiga.
It's gonna be for Aqua. And
Yeah.
there goes the
And
down
Cloud,
force.
Cloud.
Are they actually gonna be able to take down James Panks though?
Uranus guys.
Gets locked in by the fist
Mati
break.
niya,
This grab
Uranus,
might be an opening
Consecration?
here
Mati,
for
guys.
Smart Omega.
Shizu!
Still no! With the dragon back to
Masih
Super
hidup, guys,
Yoshi.
Uranus,
Haji barely
ah.
surviving as well, and it's only Netsky all alone here up top. It's
Gila, may satu lang
James
tiga.
Pass is still alive after that.
Call an ambulance, but not for him.
He was a punching bag, but he
James
really,
Pass
again,
kayaknya tak mati.
exactly like Red Mark
Hidup.
mentioned, literally absorbed everything,
Yeah.
and then the rest of the team just comes in and sweeps up everything.
Mati nih, guys, ya.
Aqua's just
Tarik,
so
tarik,
aggressive
mati nih.
as well. Look at the rotations coming in, but Netsky still surviving. Doesn't get
man.
to take down Shizu though. But
Tarik mati
okay,
guys, satu
now
lang
in this
tiga.
game I feel like it's
Wow, badang ganti.
I can't even finish what I was
Benita
saying.
mati guys.
Surprise!
But I feel like in this game it's
Surprise.
Aqua and Lord JM who's like working hand in hand.
It's so good. Aqua just arrives right at the when he's needed, right? He just arrives
Badang
when
OP
you need
bang.
a farsa right there.
Yeah, badang
a
OP
wizard is
nih ya.
never
May Roma.
late. He arrives just when he is needed. Pretty sure I butchered that quote, but you guys know what I
Badang
mean.
dengan sama
That's
Ciao,
right, from
Ciao.
a very
Why?
famous movie and a book.
Mati nih Kimi.
Star Wars.
AP
Exactly.
Okay, let's see if they can pull off another crazy play here.
Wow, okay, fights happening all over the map!
Oh,
and James
Uranus
Pass
dapat
still
tetap.
finds the last hit. Now, Shizo, once they saw him join the fight as well, Smart Omega had no other choice but to disengage, and James
Eh,
Pax is just
sabi niya,
constantly
Uranus
trying to
na yan.
disturb Ryzen.
Oh man,
And
come
it's him
on.
who
Uranus
gets
dapat,
the
guys, bang.
last hit here too!
Yeah, both of them use their retributions for the turtle, so he saved this ionic edge to take it. James Panks, what are you on? The growth of this young man. From a very disappointing debut season in Season 15,
Nampaknya
he has
Brand
been
menang lagi
stellar
nih.
this series.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's like watching some masters in motion here. Watching some people paint. Someone painting so well. James Pangs in the face of Omega,
Kalau
who
dia dapat
seem to be
turtle, dia
struggling
menang
to
ya.
breathe.
Here
Turtle
goes
kali
again.
kedua.
I mean, I know people would have preferred James Panks on the Assassin, but I'm enjoying this as well.
Nice. This is nice.
This is okay. Like it's not as passive as
Iya,
we
namanya
would
James.
expect it to
Bahaya
be,
nih ya, James.
considering that it's
Aku
James
Uranus,
Panks. And
Kaya
they're
binenta
all
lang ng
working
slot.
together to pull off the entire idea from the very beginning of like just fast clears and rotations and invades of fast
Alhamdulillah.
rotating
Yeah.
heroes in the Benedetta and the Farsa.
Yeah, it's a
good
different kind of
season,
madness. I think straight up, AP Brand are also just outplaying and playing better than Omega, individually and as a team. Because Omega's gotten outplayed multiple times.
Oh, that's another way of the dragon
Oh,
onto
oh,
James.
ada
He
wall,
taps the
guys.
hero. Still has the flicker, but the Federate airstrike will be able to take him down. Haji has to reposition as well. He's very low,
Look at
but
him.
there's another Salmon Force
Mati,
used by
guys.
Netsky just to
Fav
get
Lagu.
away. They're trying to defend this tier 1 in mid as much as they can.
Ouch.
But AP Bren, they're just
Oh.
constantly looking for fights.
Very happy, and James Pangs is just walking in front. Lord
Lima
JM
tujuh,
hunting
guys,
people
corner.
down and forcing them to basically run for their
Lima
lives
tujuh,
here,
that's
but not really doing anything to hurt them.
The fact that AP Brand is making it work, how they're making it work, is a testament to how well
Penitanya a bit more.
they're executing it. With just how good they are overall.
Whoa.
The Lancelot is struggling. Aqua
A little bit of
Uranus
flex
dapat
there.
turtle, guys.
back in form. AP Brand are just really freaking good right now.
Yep. Lord
Top
JM.
lane, top lane.
Ah, there's another fight.
Mati, guys, sorry.
Netsky! He almost got something, but it still wasn't enough. Shizo still survives, not even using the Purify. And Lord JM now, he's just doing such a great job at managing all other sides of the map. The stun doesn't land on James or on Aqua.
Si
rather.
Zoe tak mati
Just
lagi.
can't even walk out of the tower now.
Yeah, this Uranus only has
Mati guys,
what?
si Zhao.
A Dreadnought armor and a
Waduh,
Radiant
kebagian
armor?
dia,
That's
si
it?
Zhao.
Whoa, whoa.
They doing the
Claudio
job.
This is
nih,
what
Claudio.
he's doing?
Look at them. Haji right in front just... What is
Eh?
he doing? He's not even doing damage, bro!
You can't
Ada
even feel
damage,
the
guys.
damage just yet. Ryzen all alone
Uranus kebal,
up
guys.
against Aqua X Nova and James
Aduh,
Panks
James
will
Panks
just
kan ni bahaya,
decide
guys.
to puncture away.
That's nuts. And the
Dapat
fact that
tahu,
Lord
guys.
JM also went for Blade of the Heptases and Sea Halberd.
Kaya Benita lang ng slot ni guys.
Yeah, pure assassin damage. Fast basic attacks.
Has an orange buff.
He has an orange buff.
What are you doing with the orange buff, man?
Bro, this AP Brand lineup is disgusting. And they are, again, it's
Whoa.
not just, oh, no way.
mati ng slot.
No way!
Oh, ng slot
That was
menang.
close. That was close.
Not gonna happen twice in one game.
Yeah. Ryzen redeemed himself. He got a highlight.
Just
for
when you were
himself.
talking him up
Let's
as
look
well.
one by
Just
one,
when
guys.
you were talking
Benita.
JM up. He does that. Very, at this point, it's very classic now.
Oh.
But
Do
it is what
something
it
good,
is.
do something bad. Do something good, do something
There's
bad.
a pattern.
Mr. 50-50.
Fitty Fitty. Your new nickname is Fitty Fitty. Wait, sorry.
Okay.
Here we go, though.
Here we go again. They
Yeah.
find another kick. It's Super Yoshi
Oh,
the catch who's taking
Ryzen.
down Ryzen. Phantom execution,
Oh,
but still
Uranus,
gets
oh,
chased by
oh,
James
oh,
Panks.
damage, oh,
Thorngrow's already
sorry.
committed. There's the Salmon Force as well.
Uranus na
But
tama.
they're still not able to take down the Uranus.
Uranus damage.
How?
I mean, how? Yeah.
How? Di tak
How do you
mati.
even take him down? The Radiant Armor and the Caress is really working well for him,
Yeah.
especially against the Harif and the Kimmy.
I mean, it answers the two main damage profiles of Omega. Skill-based
Uranus
physical
siya.
and continuous magic. If he,
Kapal
once he
eh.
builds up maybe like an Oracle or an Athena's Shield, you're not taking that down.
Look at
Hey,
Nova.
Chow.
They don't have the flicker
Chow
for X Nova,
tendang.
but they don't need it. Ryzen will make his
Eh.
way to the objective, but will
Wah,
he be able to
Ryzen
secure
na,
the
guys.
team? Gets to kill Shizo. Netsky
Shizo.
as well, dealing
Sama
up
naman
damage.
lawan eh.
Lord JM just goes in
Oh,
for the
Rado
double
dapat
kill.
lawan.
The Lord is secured by AP Bread, and James Panks picks up Netsky as well. Only Ryzen is left alone.
Yeah, man, Netsky could not
Dapat
play.
niya
I feel
menang,
bad
guys.
watching him play around this and
Yeah.
trying to find an opening,
7-13
not being
eh.
given at
Score.
all.
Also have to commend the initiation there by X-Nova. It was perfect. The conceal, the angle. They had the vision and the info on Lord JM, and he was just able to find it. He made that look easy. He's absorbing minion waves. This AP Brand team is exciting, folks.
not been this excited about an AP Brent team in a while. They are on the road to a 2-0 here against Omega, who really dominated yesterday as well.
Wow, was that a sea halberd?
What a
But
kick!
wait! Another kick
Whoa,
onto
ada
Ryzen,
wah.
Lord JM
Bencana,
gets punished,
bencana.
however, and Super Yoshi finds the fist break fist grab onto James Max, finally taking
Omega
him
menang.
down after so long!
Why is it when I say something good about a team, something bad happens?
You just talk them up and then they hear it, and then everything just falls apart.
This is what they
Yeah,
call
they
the
get
capture course, I
Happy
guess!
Shizu?
Another potential kill,
So
but
close.
Shizu gets to dodge it. Oh my goodness.
Right.
Should we not say anything?
Maybe we should just, not talk for like 10 minutes and so this game just gets over with. But yeah.
Somewhere I hear LaFell just going, Renmar, just shut up. Like, you know what?
Shut up,
Okay,
man.
bro, I get it.
It just happens.
I miss you, LaFell. Hopefully you hear this.
Oh my goodness. It
Ano
was
guys, ha?
going so well, now the lead's like 2K? 2.9K?
It's basically gone. Basically gone,
It's
right?
gone. Was that a shutdown that they got even? It was on, I think you could consider it to be one, for sure. But right now I feel like we shouldn't be paying much attention to the goal disparities anymore because like they've caught up.
Man, Assassin Benedetta, man. Scary.
Yeah, it's also still important to look at the items. So it's BOD, full damage build for the Benedetta, Athena Shield, BFB, Fury Hammer for the Lapu Lapu. If you look at the Claude, he actually went for the Winter Crown so that if he ever decides to go in with the Blazing Duet, because of the raw damage that Omega can actually dish out now, he can just stand there, Blazing Duet, and it's not going to get cancelled. So he's still doing his job, doing his damage, and providing a zone for Omega to be wary of.
Don't be mad, Jim. I feel like Tank Benedetta would work better for you at this
Nah, man, that doesn't fly with Mr. 50-50.
I know, man. Mr.
50-50.
I like it.
Oh, man. It's a good thing, guys. It's a good thing. Because way back then, don't be mad as well, there was like a nickname for Lord JM internally.
Yun lang, so-
We're not going to say that, obviously, here.
Okay,
But
okay.
it's a lot better. That one's a lot better for
Yeah, I like it. That's exciting because it's
exciting.
Is it heads or tails? You don't know where it's gonna land.
And
Gets people going.
I mean, yeah, gets the people going. No one knows what it means, but it's provocative. It's provocative. Look at that. He has 4 kills and what? 4 deaths.
You're
Apa terjadi ni?
yeah.
No, trust
She's
me.
not a
Okay,
Mexican. Okay,
the
the
last
Mexican.
sequence was what? A Lord JM fail. The next one's gonna be a success.
Okay.
He's gonna get a big petrify, electrify no blow. I'm gonna call it now.
Okay. Let's see if that happens.
Let's look for that.
Yeah, for now,
Okay,
they're
not
paying
guys.
a lot of attention to the long lanes.
Nasa na,
Whoa. I can't believe he's standing there.
Doing very good zoning.
All alone. Okay. Purify already forced out. That's what we
Lapu-lapu
were
dah
mentioning.
mati tiga,
So
guys.
that's a
James,
major resource
dah mati
down for
tiga.
AP Red
Oh,
right before the
Brains Fighter.
objective.
Sama
Brains Fighter
Hadi ni.
and Jika
Oh,
looking for Aqua.
Wow,
Now they know that he
Aqua
doesn't have
mati
to purify
guys.
North Wings by Wing. That's why they
Nova.
go for the instant.
Pasha
But
mati
that's
guys,
the way the
Pasha.
Dragon. Will they have enough damage to deal with the kill
Oh,
though? Win.
she's out.
Turn crowd gets
She's out, mati
taken
guys.
down.
That's
To
not-
Ryzen right after the Blazing Duet. Everything is
Oh,
going
Uranus mati,
sideways now
Uranus.
for AP Brand. Ryzen has an eyes of James
Yeah,
Banks and just in the blink of an eye.
James kapal gaya, James punch ka.
One man on a mission, James.
Man.
Bravest fighter Flicker. He didn't care about James Banks. He just wanted Aqua. And it was the right target, and AP Brand were forced to react.
Oh, Omega menang guys.
Shiza was also not in the best place
Ito,
possible.
tangan
He
na
did
pizza,
use the
guys.
Winter Crown play, but it just happened way too fast for AP Brand to adjust in the right way. And Omega, what a play! James Wick, a man on a mission.
James Wick. That is perfect. He literally ignored everyone. He passed by like
Well,
2
that's
AP Bread members on the way to Aqua.
That is sheer freaking will.
That could not have happened if Aqua wasn't there.
That's true. He definitely flexed so hard. He used his Purify very early on, and James just knew what needed to be done.
Now they're finding the openings. Conceal already used though by Smart Omega. Traction pulls as well. Ryzen makes his way to Aqua once again. Forces out the Wings by Wings. But they
Oh,
will have
Lord,
plenty of
guys.
time to at least focus on taking
Lord,
down the
Lord.
Lord. But Smart
Sayang sekali guys,
Omega
Omega.
take down the mid lane base
Tapi
turret
Brand
already.
kalahkan lot guys.
Man, they are going to be scratching their heads so hard if they lose this one out just because of that one thing.
Yeah, I mean, it
If
was a massive
Omega
deal.
kalah, guys,
Other than
Omega 2-0,
JM and Shizo, of course, the
Kalau
raw
Omega
magic
menang,
damage
satu
burst
sama.
that comes out for the
Sama
Farsa is
Omega.
actually one of the biggest problems for Omega for multiple sequences. And the fact that James
Ini dua-dua
was able
kuat
to
ni,
find
dua-dua.
that one out. And exactly,
kuat ni.
I don't even know if Omega knew just how out of position AP Bren were because of how deep Shizo actually was. And you can't blame Shizo being there. They were setting up their formation. No way in hell you're gonna expect James to just say, hey, can we just go for this? And it was the perfect target too.
Yeah, they're going to have to look for their targets here as we are heading to a point where it is Omega finally making some plays here and making themselves heard or known on the map.
Oh, they're trying to
Oh,
burst out James.
Uranus mati, guys. James.
Will end the Winter Crowns, but will Ryzen
Okay,
find the
James
kill that
mati,
they need?
guys.
It seems like Smart Omega might actually make it
Sama
happen.
tinggi.
They take down Aqua and Nova. The mid
mati
duo
jauh,
of
guys.
AP Plan are gone.
James
Nova
with a
sama
massive
Aqua, guys,
two-man
mati.
stun again. The ultimate fighter showing up to work.
And there you go, Lord James just evaporated to Netsky. I don't think
Omega
that is
menang,
anything
guys.
to do against this four-man of Omega
Omega
right
OP
now.
comeback, guys. Ha?
Execution in James Pax trying his best.
Omega OP
They
comeback.
get to take down Ryzen, but they gain access to the base.
Well,
And it seems like it's happening. We are actually going to a game number 3.
Omega menang.
That was impressive. That was just out of nowhere, and that's the
Eh,
Omega.
guys.
We are
Satu sama.
seeing in our eyes a big throwback. to
Siapa menang, guys?
Turun.
Ha? Aduh, duduk kuat ni.
They call the EXP later of
FPP
Omega the
lain sama
ultimate
Omega
fighter.
duduk kuat ni.
And with two massive, bravest fighters catching Aqua and the key targets of AV Brand at the right time, just when no one expected that to happen, James deserves that MVP. I will claim that now.
Yeah, definitely. We saw
Aku
this
setuju, guys.
yesterday,
James,
and we saw
bisa
it
MVP,
again
guys, ha?
today.
Uranus tu gila.
James acting and doing it when it needed to be done.
He just ran after
Yeah.
Aqua. So,
Yeah.
okay, he doesn't have the wings by wings. He doesn't have the
I
purify.
don't care anymore.
And I mean, to be fair, Ryzen, he was very reliable in that particular sequence. He was able to catch up. He was able to deal
Ryzen.
the right amount of damage. And yeah, we mentioned him too.
Ni yang
Like,
Lancelot,
they
Ryzen.
both worked hand in hand for that kill though.
Yeah,
Like,
Renmar looks very, very
Lancelot,
disappointed
yeah.
here.
Ryzen
But
naman.
at the same time,
5,
5, 2, and 8. It's an impressive KDA. 81%
Impressive.
kill
5 to 8.
participation, 863 gold per minute.
Apa, guys?
Yes.
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 Let's just say yes.
Well
Damage deal
deserved.
tu.
yeah.
Because the Lancelot also had a hard time. He was having a
KP
difficult
apa,
game, and
guys? SP,
despite all of that, he only died twice.
Oh yeah.
And because he was also one of the
The
main
damage
burst damage dealers that Omega were able to work with, they needed that.
Guys,
Oh,
Well
yeah.
deserved
Run the
MVP
damage
for
game
This is a
Sorry.
Ryzen.
highlight. This is a
There you go.
highlight.
He has a highlight reel. Renmar.
Yeah.
It looks good, doesn't it?
And
MVP
as
highlight.
Renmar mentioned, it's commendable how he found his way back in this game, even after being invaded for so many times in the early game. Like,
I basically had 0 buffs
He-
for like a
Yeah.
good solid few minutes.
he was a target for like the majority of the early to mid portions of the game by AP Bren. I feel like he had to make so many things happen just for his other teammates to scale the way they did. Oh, this was the moment they were able to take down Aqua, by the way.
See, again, it was just the perfect timing. I don't even know if
I think
Omega
so.
knew just how off position AP Bren was because of how deep. Eventually, James was able to easily access the formation and find Aqua. It was a tremendous performance by Omega to crawl that out. They needed to find something.
hari ni
Instead of
GG,
just looking
guys,
for
ha.
it, they
Sabi
made
bakit
it happen.
GG?
Not just James, but the team together.
Hari ni GG
That was
ni.
absolutely one of the
Harit
craziest
sama
comebacks
Ryzen
we've
eh,
seen
that's
so far in the season. At the very least, it looked like AP Bren had a
Easy
really
melee
good
game,
grasp of the early until Omega found an opening and just did not let go.
Yeah, when Netsky had a lot of damage to dish out already on the
16 minute,
Harry,
guys. Satu sama ni.
I think we
16
couldn't
score,
feel
16
RJM
score.
as much anymore. I
Yeah.
think we could start feeling James Pax, get shredded down a lot more faster than he used to in the first
Yeah.
few
Sizo
minutes.
kalah, guys. Ha?
Yeah,
Don't have it.
it was an awkward spot for AP Bren.
Hindi
I
game
feel
na
like
menang.
that was
I will
what they were
game
trying to
na natin.
avoid, which is why they were trying to pick up the pace so much.
Yeah.
They
Yes,
didn't want the
to
game
match
to
comment
drag
dulu,
out that
guys.
long because Netsky definitely was going to be a
Ayo,
problem, but it
comment.
did. So Yeah,
I
it
guess.
was clearly favoring Omega once it
China number
went
one.
on to the late game.
Yeah, because eventually once Nesky
Guys,
was able to
China-
back in the items,
China
he still
no-
ended up the game 7-3 and 4,
No one
even
can
in the
beat
kills
China.
across the board. But then as it goes on, you do reach a
Wow,
fall-off
dapat
point with that
China
Uranus.
na.
And
Let's
yes,
go play
for a good
China
amount of the game, it felt like
Legend.
James Banks was nigh unstoppable. He was just
China
recovering through a lot of
number
the
one.
damage that
Let's
Omega
play
were
China
dishing
Mobile
out.
Legends.
But then it will fall off because when the burst is too
Happy
much to
Bear
handle
lost
and you're
to
brought
Fav
low,
Drink.
then
Okay,
one of our issues about the Uranus
Oh,
at
satu
the end of the
sama,
draft
guys.
comes to light. What then do you do if you just can't be a sponge anymore? How then do you help the team if
Masa
you're
tak tahu
dying
lah,
so
kenapa
quickly?
FPL kalah
And
ni.
in the key moments there in the end, James Banks really started to feel it that AP Brand didn't have time to
Katanya
help James
James
Banks to
Banks
deal
dengan
the
aku
damage
ni
because of the raw
terlalu
burst that was
mega
already
apa
getting dished out by the
Kena
Harith and even the Lancelot.
That's true. Basically, right before the draft
Mosquito
started, we
Shabao.
mentioned that, right? They were an
China
in and
number
out
one
kind
for
of
Mech.
lineup where you had to do the damage, you had to soak up the damage, then you
Aduh,
go out,
recovery-nya beta
then you
juga
regen,
ni.
you go
China
back in. It's basically what
number
Uranus
one
does.
for
But what
making
happens when
virus.
Omega doesn't let you go out anymore? And then we got our answer.
The
Apparently,
champ
it's just
was,
disaster
the
overall
atas guys,
for
comment
AP Brand. BPI Rich Guy here is going to be Ryzen.
comment live,
Apparently, that's
guys,
probably where he
live
got a lot of that
YouTube.
MVP
So,
stats from. He did get 806 free GPM as well
Yeah,
on this
yeah, guys.
game.
Player semua
James
muda-muda
Banks
ni.
definitely carried it really hard in the
macam
damage taking
18
department,
gitu.
but again, that's just not enough in the late
18,
game.
16,
That's
17.
interesting though. Like, for him to get this much
Can we do
GPM
we
despite
nothing
that
in
kind
the
of early game.
Despite getting invaded over and over again.
Yeah, setuju. Kimi damage nya tak ada bro.
It also came from the fact that because of the aggression that AP Brand
Because
was
Uranus
showing
counter
in the
Kimi,
key
guys.
areas in the
China,
map,
what
you would
caused
find
that?
Ryzen just finding
Because-
farm elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then of course you do get to that point where, okay, if you're falling behind,
Hey.
you will reach an apex of like, hey, suddenly my
toxic
GPM is so
comment.
high because you're farming in the later portions of the game.
Guys,
Around
hashtag
like
guys,
8 to 12
jangan
minutes,
dulu miss
you're just
all
looking
FPL
for
kan.
good farm and chunks of it
FPL yang
through
lama
high
mana, guys?
value.
Yeah,
Tahun
even if
2000
you
apa
like
tu?
stop it, it's still Lancelot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But for the meantime, again, we are going to give you a lot more, especially with more data.
Indonesia
more GG.
makan terlalu
You can experience
banyak.
the winning power of Smart's
Tapi
Unli
trophy
5G
tak boleh.
and enjoy it with the
Tapi tak ada
Smart
trophy
Digital Prepaid
sebelum
eSIM.
Yeah, Smart is simply the
Waduh.
reliable telco partner of the MPL. Victories.
Waduh,
you can
ada
count.
api-api nih guys ya.
And I
Komen
hope
like
that
lah.
people get the proper use of GG now. A lot of people say GG when
Yeah,
they're like,
kita
losing.
Pinoy.
You
Ada
guys forget it's
banyak.
good game. It means good game.
Ada banyak
Sometimes
gift.
they say GG when
Yeah, we've been
They're
having
losing.
gift people.
oh, this is GG already.
China ditulen
It's technically a
drive.
BG for you, but either way, it's
Pinoy-
very nice that we
Apa ni?
have proper use of GG
apa
now.
tu?
It's good game.
Apa tu, guys?
Either way, we are going
China,
into a
the
game number 3, which I
strongest,
honestly did not expect.
Philippines
During
is
this one,
IQ, yes.
I thought AP Brent had that in the
Ada di
bag.
sana.
Yeah.
They had what,
Ah,
7K
ada ni
gold
komennya
before
gaduh
that
guys ya.
thing with the
China, Indonesia,
Uranus started?
Pinoy gaduh
Yeah.
ni.
That was crazy.
We were making a joke about how are they
Padahal
actually
ito
going to find a
naman
way to take
Philippine,
James
guys.
Banks down, and
Terus
you
gaduh ni ada
suggesting.
in Indonesia.
I think
ada
when you suggested
China
Lord JM
China
to
ada
go
Philippine ada.
tank build,
That might have been the right
maybe
call.
that might have been.
No, it's
Oh,
too late.
recommendation.
I think they did not have room to put the
Yeah,
tank
no,
build
no,
on
no,
that
no.
Benedetta. They were playing around the Uranus.
That was a
Right.
joke. Yeah.
He's just pure
Chill.
tank. Yeah, they needed actual damage there. But even then, the entries of the Benedetta would struggle. Because there were moments where it's like, okay, we found a good Petrify, but can he actually get the Electro final blow off in time before he gets bursted down to smithereens? Which there were some moments there where the answer was no, he just wasn't able to get that Electro final blow off because at that point, there was so much damage in the profile of
China
Smart
number
Omega
one, give us
that no
money
matter how good
by
Lord
Java.
JM timed this entry, it was still a very small window of
Indonesia
success to make it work. So
Yeah.
eventually still it
China cost,
ended up becoming such a difficult game for the Benedetta.
I can't help but think of what could have happened if it was a Uranus XP.
Satu sama guys.
And,
Omega satu,
if
PBN
James Banks
satu.
did go for a different jungler, but
Kok
I
guys,
mean,
tapi
at that
Bilon
point,
boleh
they
menang
weren't
tadi.
much-
Tapi tak tahu lah kenapa
Unless
dia
they went for assassin
position
the
kalah
Hayabusa
ke apa.
or something.
Tapi comeback guys.
But even then,
Omega.
even
China
then,
weak
They
in
just
any
might black out on
plastic
damage.
shit.
That's like the biggest problem here. And then the what Lord JM does as well is like absorbing
Oh,
something.
bullshit.
Yeah.
You can basically
You
nullify a
know,
lot of the hits
fuck,
by,
fuck,
you know,
the
because of
fuck,
Bendetta's
whatever, guys,
built
speak,
in like dodge mechanics,
And then
Yeah,
instead
iframes,
it's
right?
halal,
But again, imagine if it was like a purely a damage dealing assassin that might have been.
kalau dekat China tu game ni guys,
I agree.
Honor of King
there
eh.
are
Paling
a lot
besar
of
tu.
things that
Mobile Legends,
a bit different.
may.
I mean, it's not like
China.
AP Bren played it wrong.
Ano of
Because
King
for
to game paling
a
awal.
huge portion of the game, it was
Daripada
clearly
Mobile
them
Legends.
winning
They were winning.
out.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like
Tapi taon niya,
some sort of
of King Bokluwa
similar to what we saw from them
Solos
in
po
game
na
1.
may,
Like
Punjab po
when the
na may.
hesitation shows up,
Yeah.
when
No,
you're
of
trying to
King,
close it
kaya
out,
naka-trending.
then it
May
can
Mobile Legends
really
na
get
kasi
you in
niya.
the back. So
Mobile Legends
And
ba
again, clearly,
That's
it's a
what tao
testament to
na
how
alam
well
mo.
Omega just decided, you know what?
Tapi mas
Nothing's
trending,
been
Mobile
happening
Legends.
for us.
Yeah.
We need to make something happen.
Somebody
And they
ka
did.
China,
At the right
trending
time,
is Mobile
exactly
Legends.
when they
I don't
needed it to. That could have also gone
Idiot.
completely the different way.
Malaysia, it
Where in
ang
Omega,
flash.
okay, they found Aqua, but then suddenly they're sandwiched. They're
Pinoy
not ready for the
living
entry of the
Cebu
Claude.
na nga to.
Ex-Nova found maybe a better target
Cebu
for
na
the kick.
gatos masi.
And then suddenly it's AP Brand that we're praising and they go on to win the series 2-0. But that's not what happened. It was Omega who found the right time. The stars aligned for Omega as well. It's a mix of that great effort and even better luck.
Guys,
yeah.
pag to guys.
Some fans of the
Pinoy
Bagong
no
Barangay
money.
might even
The bagong
the Bagong Barangay might feel
Yeah,
a bit of
Google
throwback to the
it.
Bagong Barangay because like the timers in that game,
Oh, yeah.
it was similar to the Omega timers which were happening like way back. But this is different. Like this is completely different from them.
Makanan guys.
I guess both that
Habo
and
ato
again
benda
AP
ko to
Bren in
Bersama
the late
baju.
game decision making maybe that could do a bit of improvement.
Story of the season there for AP Bren. Like, all right, you're getting some good leads, then you're not able to close out the game. That
Baju
sounds
ko
very
to ato
familiar
baju
to
bravo
me
di man kana
from
to masya.
again the rookie year.
Yeah.
Sorry, rookie season. But then again,
Pinoy,
does give me a
AP
lot of
Bren,
like
strong
hope for
guys.
this lineup as well, where we're seeing very good angles from X-Nova. It's really fun.
Mungkin na,
because
P-Brands,
very
drop
early on,
niya.
you see X-Nova
Kwan, guys,
angling
kala.
behind the enemy. Then as the late
Ito,
game, he's like angling
learn
towards.
attention yun.
Like the angles are getting worse and worse progressively. Maybe because of the lack of confidence, but at the same
Pinoy
time,
no money.
you have to remember this is his first series. Technically his first MPL series here.
Yeah.
So
I think overall though, I really liked how X-Nova performed there. So far in the series, I've really liked what
Me too.
X-Nova has shown off.
Mungkin ka na AP Bren lamang.
Misangled kicks, just I think
Mungkin
just
na,
after
buli
the
mo
fact
na
that-
ang
late game.
Omega.
Yeah, super late game, he was
Pero
forced to
totoo, guys,
react,
sa
and maybe
bilhin
yeah,
na
those are the
lamang
things that
ako.
you need to work on a little bit more
Jalan
of that
to, tanong mo ni
composure
first time.
once things start not going your
Guys,
way
ni
in the
first time
latter
ako,
portions of
tanong
the
man.
game, because as the game extends in MLBB,
Namo playa mo,
the
tataw sa
more
pa dyan.
the
Ako po blad dyan.
requirement of
Sizaw,
perfect
sizaw,
execution becomes a
sizaw.
reality.
True.
Where you need,
Pero
maybe
mas
not
man,
all the time
give
perfect,
them
but just near
position.
perfect execution where the right
MJ,
angle, the
Happy
right time,
Bagay,
because
Biscuit.
one little slip up means at that point, the late game damage carries
Yeah.
have all the tools in the world to just
Ne.
Completely turn a sequence that goes
Tanong man niya,
wrong
babalaman
around.
eh.
especially with the Cho, right? Like at the late game with the Cho, you angle it wrong, it's like
Sa
instantly dead.
jam eh.
This is
Sa
how
jam.
scary the opponent's items are. They're already maxed
Udah
out,
jam,
they're
guys.
already beefing, ready
Tama
to
juga
go.
eh.
So yeah, you're right. Execution in the late game does favor
Guys, ini na live stream
those who
sampai
have higher mechanics and have
sampai
better,
ada pemenang
more
yang
conviction
tahu.
to go for the play.
Yeah, because I feel like even in the
Lagi satu ah.
moments where it was clearly AP Bren
ini
winning
lama
out,
yung live
it's
stream
not
na,
like
Mobile Legends.
Smart Omega were holding back
Nandiyan
as
din
much.
TikTok lagi.
It's like they were still trying to fight as much as they can. I
Pinoy
do
ko,
recall
China,
Netsky always using the Zaman Force,
Moskov
Zaman
out to
Force as
win.
much as
Yeah,
possible,
Sizo
trying
pag
to
Moskov guys.
fight. It's not like they're just always
Mapan
running
satu
away.
dia.
They're
Yeah.
trying to avoid AP
China
Bren whenever
eat
they're trying to
plastic.
look for an engage or start things up. It's just that they
Ano ko, may
they-
China eat plastic,
I
China
realize it's not
virus.
enough yet, but
I
it's not
see
like
mga autistic
they've completely
Pinoy.
given up on being able to find a way to fight back against IP Brand. So I think that's another
May
really
mga
good
ada,
that
Mobile
we're
Legends,
seeing from
China
Smart
masuk
Omega.
guys, tanong man.
It's not the same
China,
as the Omega
China.
timers. It's different. It's
So ako
I
niya
don't know,
din,
like,
Mala-
just
Malaysia,
literally holding on.
Indonesia.
and
Philippines,
acknowledging the fact that there will come a time that they can fight back. And
Kay China, tapanan pala.
it's something along those lines. It's just that very hopeful
Indonesia
idea that we
sabag-
feel from this bagong
Kata niya, Indonesia sa
Bago
budak-budak
Barangay
guys.
definitely
Bocah-bocah.
shows a different kind of like spiciness. Where maybe they pop up when you least expect them. But here we go for draft
Okay,
game number
draft
3.
Ben guys ha.
Very similar drafts from the previous game.
Ito dulu guys.
So Smart Omega's back in the red side for this game, wondering what AP Bren might want to prioritize this time
May
around.
last guys ha.
I feel like the blue side has been such a great
Ataw ni,
side for the
like
majority
na
of the
hindi.
teams.
Tanong man
Really.
niya, mes.
Still hasn't
Gen
changed
tiga.
as much. So What are they gonna
Yang ni
open
last,
here?
ah.
Is it gonna be the
Last, ah.
Basha
Last, ah.
Arlot that they're gonna
Happy
ban
Brand on
out?
Omega lagi.
Well, we did
Round
see like a
tiga.
usage of the R lot previously, so they might want to maybe first pick that for Lord James as well. Maybe have a take 2 here. Then again, that was the game that they lost. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Coach Jeff is going to be confident to allow Lord JM to maybe take a swing at it, as they say.
Yeah, it seems like they're really
That thing
thinking
is,
hard about what this ban is gonna be. So there goes the Baksha. That leaves the Arlot, the Lancelot open for them. Oh! Wait, they actually open up the Lance for AP Bren instead.
Yeah, that's a different story right there.
James Vance will end up with a couplet if that happens. Yeah, they don't hesitate. They go ahead and rush it. Omega giving a Lancelot means that they are most likely going to be drafting a lineup that will answer that Lancelot, that want tempo, that want to go fast, and that's how you get it. You pick up a Cho, then you pick up a Farsa. Remember, X-Nova, comfort on the Cho as well, but Super Yoshi is also very comfortable with this game.
Careful,
That's
speed niya
one way to
Lancelot
counter
guys.
the
Happy
Lancelot.
Brand.
If you don't have the Kai, just basically just kick it into the
Omega
game.
pakai Chow sama
Are we gonna see a
Pasha.
similar trend to what happened earlier? Because I feel like
Hero Ben
if
sama
they
guys.
decide
Sudah
to
dia Pasha.
reveal another
Province.
Kai, it's not gonna be that big of a surprise anymore because you already know what their jungler is gonna be.
Ano,
So it's
province
not
niya,
gonna
hero
be
niya
a flex
Kaban, ah.
option. But the
Kaban,
Fanny
Tolemante.
option for Smart Omega is still there too.
Tapi kalau
And I feel
Arlot,
like if it's clearly an
Jara
assassin
Jumbo lah,
matchup in the
Jara
jungle,
Jumbo.
then they're gonna be
Kecuali
fine with
rank
that.
atas
Also
lah,
knowing
Mythic
that the
Glory
Cho
itu
is in
Arlot.
their hands. So
tapi
will
kalau
AP
Basya
Bren try to
Tonoman
anticipate
guys.
that heading into this part of the draft? They go for
Aris
Harris
Selena.
Selena.
Alright.
Okay.
It's like been a very long
Aqua
time
pakai
since I
Selena,
saw
guys.
Aqua pick up a Selena.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking.
Yeah, and I like how
Lele
going out
stand
against the
guys.
trend of what we usually see in game number 3s of teams being a little bit more careful, being conservative. They're just both going all out
Hayabusa.
here. You both have two lineups that are centered around winning priority in the mid lane through sheer aggression and vision, and with how fast you can rotate around the map to supplement damage heavy cores. And I'm not talking about just the jungle, I'm talking about core damage dealers. It's the Harith and the Lancelot for AP Brand. It's the Farsa and the Hayabusa for Omega. The fact that they're showing off their cards this early means one of them, or maybe both of them, are looking for surprises and wins through the EXP lane.
Actually, the
Ada
CC is still there.
Yeah,
The
you have to get CC out, you have to
Yeah.
get Hilda out.
the Lapu's still there too.
Yeah, that too.
There's always gonna be the threat of that Hilda just hunting down this Lancelot as well over and over again. So I don't know if they're gonna let that go through here. Definitely want to see a CC or a Hilda ban.
Yeah. I mean, if it were me, since I have the Farsa, and if I want the Farsa to have an easier time, yeah, that the Gatot or the Lapo would be a great choice for bans. So they go for the Gatot Kacha. I mean, it's Smart Omega picking first after the banning phase anyway. So if they want to pick it up for themselves, that wouldn't be so bad too. But
Right.
AP Bren, are they taking out another gold lane?
They actually might be just forced to
Siapa
trade
menang nih,
here
guys?
on
Happy
the
Brand
board.
atau
So both of them
Omega.
still have high presence or high usage of Beatrix.
Happy Brand.
Can still be here. Shizu obviously has had a lot of reps on that hero as well.
Why are we not seeing as much grain
Tapi
juice?
ada
for
Busan ni
this
susah
But that's
ni.
true. This whole series, I don't remember if yesterday I saw
Gatot
it too.
defense
And
sama
they banned
Kaza.
out even the Bruno instead of that. So that leaves the
Moscow
Beatrix you
ban.
mentioned, the Ranger, if
Moscow's
they do want to pick it up. Moscow's banned also.
banned as well. So wow, we're getting forced into a weird
Shizu
territory.
pakai
Maybe we
guys.
see it here.
Kanina.
Maybe, because like the Granger Farsa, that's like a proven and tested combination as well. For like range-wise. But the thing is, AP Bren, they have so many ways to reach you.
There it is.
Okay, so there you go. There's the Granger.
Trying to fight from downtown is basically what's happening here for AP Brand.
Ringa guys.
So the...
James pakai James.
Wait, so what's the XP gonna be for AP
Ringa.
Bren?
Definitely, we're looking for the CC here
Golden,
somewhere. I don't know
Golden,
if they
guys.
want to. They probably don't care about the Hilda at this point.
Ringa Lon Hari. Aduh,
Yeah,
lupa
Uranus is
guys.
also,
Tapi guys,
I would
Ringa
not
macam
put it
na.
past them
Lon Hari.
to pick it up. Although Uranus does kind of.
Or the Lapu just... But
Oh, it's still a Lapu? Still a Lapu game?
Sama guys,
Yeah,
S16.
there's a Farsa Granger on the other side.
It's kind of easy to pick that up, I guess.
Kasi lapu-lapu,
Either of these
guys.
two teams might even show up a Badang at some point.
Lapu-lapu
For the
atau
Rome, you go high loss
High
for
loss is
AP
great.
Red.
Yeah.
End of one
Carlos.
thing is the beginning of another.
That's
Isme.
Esmeralda.
We're looking for that voice line. Kufra coming
Kufra.
in here for X
Great.
Nova.
Alright. So I think that's confirmed based off of the drops yesterday
Counternya
as
Ibusa
well,
guys,
that
Kufa.
Kufra definitely
Gringo.
is back as one of the top options that you
Pasha
can
pun
go
double
for.
counter.
Not gonna be one of the S tier priorities, but
Definitely.
it's like right next there
Yeah.
in the next tier.
Guys,
of,
aku dapat
heroes
rasakan
to go
Fibran
for.
menang ni.
And the fact that they pick up an Esmeralda means they're also thinking of the
Kufra
possibility
counter
that
ni,
a Hilda could come in
counter
from
yellow
Omega. Honestly, if I'm Omega, even consider an Edith in the EXP lane, though it
Tapi kalau
does really not do
Isme-
much against the Esmeralda in lane. But in the big picture, that just means
Isme
that you
lang
just
siya.
send the Farsa and Chomor to the EXP lane. Or the CC, since it's still there, and a good curtain call will mess up the initiation that AP Bjorn wants to do. Blue also really good considering that you're up against Harith and the Selena as well. There's a lot of targets that you can go for that can get easily displaced, and you mess up a
Blue
formation
counter
around the
Harith,
lineup that
sama
wants to play around the
Ismail.
Zaman force of the Harith.
Yeah, I love this glue right here as well. If you went Lapu here, that might have been trouble because you will definitely not last against the line of AP Bren here. But man, oh man, we're
Okay.
finally gonna see a fight here. I
Jom
expect
kita
very
tengok, let's
early fights
go.
from this
Siapa
team.
menang
Esmeralda.
Happy Bren
that
atau
pickup,
Omega, guys?
It was
Last
a
game na.
surprise, but it made your opponents think twice. Like about what XP later you'd want to pick up, because we did mention like the Edith and the Lapu Lapu, but both of those heroes are shield generating heroes that might make things a bit more better for the Esmeralda laning wise. So Super Yoshi just came off a Kufra game yesterday, but now he is gonna go up against it. The Kufra so far, it's fun to see them back. The entire idea of having a surprise setup come in.
Welcome
Just is it
to
gonna work?
Mobile
Yeah,
Legends.
it's basically fun, but it
One
also can
valid,
work
yeah.
in very, very specific situations. Let's find out if that's going to be the case here in game number 3 with Omega coming in with Super Yoshi on a very Yaoi-esque. Let's see. So Nova, X-Nova, obviously he's going to take a long time. He's absorbing so much damage as well.
Oh, let's go guys.
man.
First blood.
Super Yoshi.
Oh man!
Yikes.
Oh,
Can he
man,
run away
ciao.
from this?
Alright,
Doesn't
no,
give
no,
the
no,
flicker.
okay.
Okay, he's safe.
I think that deep chase also.
Look at Nova.
Yes. Oh, Kufa.
Ah!
What a read by
Oh.
X-Nova. Did not want to let go of that play, but now it looks like it might be a
Ako
trade
na
between the
gata
two
na.
roamers.
Okay, Netski, if he gets this
Oh,
kill,
Fav
that's gonna be
Lagu.
massive.
Ayabusa.
Doesn't get it, but still has an assist though. It goes into the
Ayaw.
hands of Ryzen instead.
Abusa buno
So
ni. Kufa.
I think they're somehow able to spread out like the resources
Yeah,
still,
may Kufa
one way or
na.
another.
Kay
And
sa
it's
atras
a
of
rover
flicker.
that's taken down for Smart Omega might not
at
be
this.
that
GG,
much of a
GG.
big thing. This could be massive though if Aqua gets the kill.
Oh,
But Super
Selena
Yoshi
mati, Selena.
will be here to provide some support.
Selena mati,
This is
guys.
like just a pixel, but X-Nova here will also be forced to flicker out.
Yeah, I think all of the trades that we've seen so far in the
So the
center
90
of the
love
map
is
just
so
goes to show, it confirms what we were thinking about the drafts of these two teams. Like, they don't want to play passive. They both want to be incredibly proactive, be aggressive. And I'm not going to knock it. As long as they are checking their conditions, they're both trading. We're seeing some good mechanical plays. I like this.
Yeah, we did see.
Total, guys.
I mean,
Total na
you
nakpo
could
ni.
tell it very
Wow,
early on,
total.
even before the game started. It was going to be messy at the very low stage of the game. Look at this. They're not actually done yet.
Oh, they're layering their skills so well. Super Yoshi gets to dodge it, though Phantom Execution
Yeah,
gets
total
stunned
man,
by
did that
Hachi
one,
as
eh.
well. And they will be the ones to pick up a kill on X-Nova
Kufa niya mati,
instead.
guys.
That's right before the objective
Aduh, wala
too.
po
So
Kufa niya mati.
it's gonna be big for Smart Omega.
It actually is. Look at Lord James as well. He actually feels very safe here,
Ano,
but
ni?
could be in trouble
Omega, guys.
if Omega
Dapat
suddenly
talaga.
turns on him. And look at this.
Last lag
Even
naman, last
Netsky
lag.
and Aqua, or sorry, Haji is joining the fray.
Oh,
Oh,
they
last
find
lag na.
James path, so
Ay,
Ryzen
busa guys dapat.
being able to secure the objective for themselves. The swing or the lead has shifted into Smart Omega's hands already.
Level 4, reached in for Aqua. Trying to
busa dapat
find
tatlo
the
eh.
angle right now for both of the two roamers.
Omega
How
menangay
they're
ka
gonna
niya.
walk away so
Omega
that it
menangay
isn't
niya.
just a trade. Right now, Omega was able to find, of course, able to
Atau
find
late
one
game hari
way
guys. Sisa boleh pick
to
up.
build up a little bit of a lead. But you're still in the scenario
Sama
where, because you're up
last
against a
one.
lineup that has a Kufra and the Selena together, the capability of them to turn things
Yeah,
around is
just punch
strong. It's really high. But so far, with how Yoshi's been playing this show, right now he's playing just a slightly better game than X-Nova's.
Slightly better as well, but don't because of what you mentioned as well. Super Yoshi is also not safe. Usually shows is very safe here.
Kena lock, Pasha.
Look at that pick.
Such an aggressive feathered airstrike coming in from Haji. They get to poke James Pack slow enough though. But at least now
But
he's
itemnya,
really
guys,
well protected
kasut,
by Super
ammo.
Yoshi because those look like really dangerous feathered
Yeah,
airstrikes.
They are, but I feel like at the same time, it's signature Aqua. He made a name for himself playing like this with artillery mages that feels like he just knows where you are. He's checking the right shrubs. He's reading your rotation. He's stopping you from making sequences. That's why Aqua became an MPL Philippines champion and an MSC champion in the same year.
Yeah, and if you're Haji, you just want to use that feather airstrike as soon as possible, maybe before the hit cancels out.
Yeah.
Because you know someone's gonna mess it up, or like someone is gonna disrupt
Oh,
it.
jauhnya nak
So I
lock
guess
guys.
using it early on, try to get an advantage in a team fight. It's also very
Ismail lawan
legit.
Hayabusa guys.
So many members from AP Brent can do that, but Ryzen seems to be struggling a bit.
Ismailnya kebal.
Lord James dealing a
Ismail
lot of
didang
damage
eh,
up
didang
against this
eh.
Hayabusa. Doesn't get the
Nanti
stun on
guys,
the cliff of
Ismail.
the crow. There's the feathered airstrike as well, but they will not be able to take
Ismail
down
hidup.
this Esmeralda. And it seems like he got enough of their attention
dapat tetelan, let's start.
to push them away from
Aja.
contesting this objective that will
Ismail
really
dapat
go into the
tetelan.
hands of AP Brent.
Yeah, he basically slowed down the farm here of Ryzen. He also
Dia gambar
was able
tu,
to help
dia
AP
dia.
Brent secure their turtle here for game number 2.
Oh, James
Oh.
Max. Haji.
Step back.
Still
Look at
went back. Oh, the shadow.
Oh, good coverage there by X-Nova, but then at the same time, good senses by Ryzen to be able to dash out just in time. He almost got caught by that Kufra, so now you have to wow, Super Yoshi?
Whoa.
Sir,
Oh,
sir.
sorry,
The
lock.
bouncing ball is such a problem.
Yeah,
You gotta
okay.
respect that bouncing ball, bro. You can't shunpo out of that one.
Don't nak lock
That's
hari
also going to
guys.
be one of the conditions there
She's
for
out, don't
Omega.
knock
If they
on
see that there's no more bouncing ball on that Kufra, they are encouraged to
Oh.
commit a play. Oh, Yoshi finds an angle.
And now they could
So
play
dapat
on
lock, guys.
OGM,
Lock
but
jam.
is it
Oh,
the
sorry,
right
mati.
decision though?
Mati guys.
Here's
So,
the episode trap and James Pax will just pick up the kill.
Yeah, mati, guys.
He barely surviving even under the turret.
Oh.
Okay, he gets to walk away.
Pasha
That looked like a
nyawa
disconnect by
1%
Omega. It
guys.
looks like they
Itu.
weren't ready for Yoshi to commit that, and it
Gila,
seems like Yoshi
na-slot
committed
na,
that
masuk akal.
without the other members of
So,
Omega too much in mind. Bit of a wasted kick, and even burned a flicker for
Boleh
that
menang, guys.
sequence.
Yeah, maybe he didn't
Beneran
shout
boleh menang, guys.
what Cho players do when they make a play. They call the person's nickname.
To follow up.
no, masuk na tawa ni.
Execution. That's a lot. We have the dragon.
Oh,
On James
dude,
Pax, the
that's
one
so
punish
mati. Kena
coming in
tendang
from
ng
Smart
Chow.
Omega. James here as well. They're trying to go for X-Nova this time.
Aduh,
They get to
nafsu guys,
also land the
Jangan
skill, but
paskan.
Haji, he can't follow
Oh,
up.
blue
He's
lock.
being zoned by Lord
Aduh.
James, but still finds the outplay.
Wow.
Haji holds on just long enough. I thought it would end up becoming an even trade, but somehow, some way, Haji holds on, and Lord JM gets punished for his greed.
Haji's like,
Blue
you're
yun,
not letting me
wala na.
play. I'm gonna give you something to play around. And look at that.
Oh,
Maybe
Chow
Super
tendang
Yoshi
guys.
again,
Chow
keeping
mati ka.
tabs on AP Bread members, making sure they can't really walk out of that turret without any consequence.
They see James Pax clearing the waves down bottom, but
Oh, tawa bawah dah pecah
Ryzen's
guys.
still picking up his purple buff, so they will be taking a bit of time before they transition into the turtle. Both teams might actually try to contest it.
Duduk kuat ni.
Here, now Omega
Skornya
definitely is
25.
going to be ahead in terms of like division department,
Ni tak
despite
ter-
AP Brand having this
Tetap
lead.
ketiga guys.
But then again, that's because of their presence in the bush. And Super Yoshi is very happy to clean out those traps whenever he can.
Okay. Ringga dapat
First it's
tetap
out the
guys.
turtle. Might transition to the purple buff, but they'll just play it safe. We'll focus on potentially clearing out and taking this tier 1 in mid instead. They have enough vision, you mentioned it.
Oh,
They're doing such a
Pasha
great
kena
job
lock.
at finding all those
Sama
visions.
Ismail.
But now James Pax
Pasha
doing his
tak
best
main.
just to defend this turret. X-Nova won't be looking for a setup just yet.
1,300 gold lead here for Omega. Good positions though around this area. They're covering for Netsky so that he can farm up top. Super Yoshi and James covering around the mid as well. So they're just trying to find a better timing for them to commit a play. Item build too crazy, although it is a glowing wand rush for the Farsa, going for more utility to whittle down other regen that AP Brand has. While it's already a Sky Piercer, Malefic Roar, and even a Hunter Strike. Yoshi finds an angle. Oh, he gets blocked.
She's blocked.
That's another bouncing ball incident.
Yep.
Bouncing ball incident. That's what we're gonna call it now.
But like, even
Ito,
though
guys,
Haji went for utility, it's nice to see his 301.
Yeah, for sure. Haji definitely, he is maybe aiming for more KDA once more. You know, it is a very old namesake for Omega's Haji. And we could see that again here, as long as they play this more cleanly, which they seem to be doing, especially with Super Yoshi. But so aggressive right now on that show, and making it so hard for AP Brand to set anything up.
I did see Haji share his stats about him missing the KDA machine, but now with the Yogi Shadow kill coming in from Raze, Super Yoshi doesn't get away from that. This is Zaman forces the bouncing ball all over again. It's 1 for none so far.
Again, just every time we try to call something out here, something seems to be happening.
Omega score dito, guys.
AP Brand showing signs of life here still, even with Omega in the lead.
Yep.
2,300 gold for Omega. AP Bren. They should be able to contest us, but I think they don't have enough damage right now to give James a lot of a problem once he decides to just jump in. Because there's a reason why that glue was ended up picking up last.
It didn't land. With Lord JM, he might just get the job done. That's a shutdown indeed from Lord JM onto Haji, his first death in this game. But Smart Omega might just try to make their way to the Lord, but X-Nova! Gets the 5 guys and uses the Tyrant's Revenge as well. The final path of execution is gonna be enough. Super Yoshi has to run away, already down to half HP. Just look at how well coordinated Lord JM and X-Nova are doing on his own. Once again, they find another. Still, Netsky has the flicker, but might not be enough anymore to even look for a trade. But wait, James might actually try to do something, but will it be enough for him to take down Aqua? It will not!
There you go, Lord JM back in with that falling star moon, just pushes him back. Omega definitely did not see that coming, and now they will lose out all of that lead, and AP Brand gets that forward.
Oh, Omega once again. I mean, you can't knock Haji for just trying to clear menu waves, try to build an advantage there. I don't think Omega and Haji and James specifically just weren't ready for how many members of AP Brand there would be ready enough to respond right away, and with again that Farsa out, not much he could do.
That push is just too deadly. For a lineup with a Kufra,
way too deadly.
You gotta be careful about where you decide to walk into, especially if you're Ryzen, especially if you're the jungler, the retry holder right before the objective comes up. So now we're seeing just what the Kufra is able to bring to the table.
Play after play. It's like X-Nova just does not want to slow down here on this Kufra. He's charging it up again.
Might not be able to land it for now. Those Smart Omega are playing it safe.
Look at the mid.
Staying under the turrets. Already used. And Ryze unfortunately gets to quad shadow out. There will be no base turrets taken down for now, but despite everything that's happening, it's interesting to see that AP Brand still, or just only up by less than 1,000 gold.
Yeah, still very close. Oh, slip up in execution. Now this is where we're gonna see what we were talking about earlier. How all it's gonna take is just one slip up, near perfect execution to make it work. Great trade there in the middle by James Bounce and Ryzen. Ryzen threw out the shadow kill, but James Bounce just used the Thorned Rose iframe so that it cancels the animation. Lord JM
gets to find the stun, but he's only brought down to a bit less than half HP. Still able to do his job nonetheless, and we can't take away the fact that Smart Omega, it seems like they have to bring out so much just to bring Lord JM's HP down to half.
But we are seeing a bit of a sliver as well of like Netsky starting to ramp up on damage. It's getting harder and harder for Lord JM as the Esmeralda to stay in the fight. Haji obviously
Oh,
already
smash,
hurts as
smash.
well.
That's
So it's gonna take a while for them to actually just get
Fine,
Lord JM back into an
okay.
unkillable status. Right now, they have to be just on their toes.
Adanya
He's
item
actually ahead
dah jadi ni
of,
11
Shizo.
slot.
Hugely, yeah.
in terms of gold, only lacking
Shizo,
one more item to
comeback,
complete his
Dia
build.
tak ada mati je.
But the
Sama
upcoming
Liga.
Lord is going to be the question here. Vision and map control is clearly favoring AP Brent's side. And Lord JM just picked
Oh,
up the antique
Ufan
Tiras,
attack.
just as he mentioned
Ah,
that
there you go.
Smart Omega might already have a bit more decent damage to
Lot
deal
spawn
with him.
guys. Lot
Snow
yang
Zero making
kedua.
every bush just so scary to
Minute
check
13.
for Omega. That's
Yeah.
a big play, or that's a big plus that they have in
Tapi
that
kalau Omega
department.
dapat lot,
Yeah, we're coming into the department here of the
Tapi comeback
next
ni,
Lord, which is going
Omega
to be
ni.
very deadly. Historically, this should
Chow pakai
finish fights.
invisible, okay. Chow nak lock siapa ni?
Nova still in
Oh.
control.
Kantoi guys.
Yoshi concealed, but he stepped on a trap. Great trap placement
Alright,
by
dapat
Aqua
satu
so far, and now Omega, they might not be able to contest this healthily.
Not anymore.
Now with Lord JM up
Dah
on
slot
front.
Rice
boleh
is
ni
gonna be
guys.
close enough.
Dapat lot.
James getting a lot of vision. Good
Jam
zone
jam
out.
paskan ni boleh.
Oh, someone's gonna have to pull the trigger on the side of Omega to try and force AP Brent down low. James Vance is taking a lot of damage from the Lord.
Neski
Yeah.
went for the clear.
Dah boleh
They
blink
know
ni,
that
apa?
he's just about to
Fighting
approach the
Nova.
Lord, but instead they target
Oh,
X-Nova
Pasha,
instead.
Pasha,
Of course,
Pasha,
also
no.
coming in from Shizo, but Super Yoshi, will he be able to
Oh, James
survive
tak
this?
mati
James
lagi,
also
guys.
flickering out just to get
Ryzen!
Ay, busa Ryzen.
But the damage from Ryzen doesn't seem
Oh,
to be
Kufra
enough.
dapat
He
stun
gets
ticker.
caught by the Tyrant's
Oh,
Revenge.
deh,
Now he
busa
will be the
mati.
first to fall. Not a good
Ryzen mati,
sign for
guys.
Smart Omega.
X-Nova, his debut game in MPL Philippines.
Dia bahaya
And
ni,
he has
S-Nova
been
kay Kufra dia.
impressive. Excuse me, not debut game, debut series. He conserved the flicker. He held on to
Dia
that.
pakai
And
flicker.
James Banks and AP
Stun.
Brent
Not
get the
stun.
Lord without a
Nice.
problem.
And if there was any hero that you want to conserve
not
that
dapat lot,
flicker
guys.
bouncing ball for, it is going to be that Hayabusa. It was spot on. It was that Tyrant's Rage, the extended Tyrant's Revenge
Yeah.
from downtown into the bouncing ball, and there was just no way that
Brent
Ryzen
boleh
could
ni
get
menang.
out.
Yeah, and I love how
Boleh ni.
X-Nova built into this. He rushed to immortality because he knew that he would be at most at
Melainkan
risk
kalau-
with everything that gets thrown at AP Brent.
Kalau
Yeah,
apa,
and that wasn't a typical
Shizo
call
mati ke apa kena
to
lock.
go for the set on the roamer of Smart Omega, but it was perfect for AP
Santai,
Brent because
santai.
once they were able
Tunggu
to
lot, tunggu lot, tunggu lot.
poke
Lot
Super
masuk ni.
Yoshi and bring him down to a very low amount of HP, then every single member in Smart Omega, it seems like they felt a lot more hesitant to try and go for the
Check,
contest.
masuk, masuk.
So now they're just
Aduh,
forced to
lot dia mati,
work
bro.
on the defense. Fortunately, they will have enough resources to clear out the incoming
Sayang
waves,
sekali
but
lot mati.
AP Brent, they're just adapting so well.
Yeah,
Omega
there's just so
defender,
much damage
Omega.
coming out from Shizo, and he also has a healthy amount of sustainability through the shields he's making for himself, that even though Omega isn't that far behind in the deficit, actually at this point, at closing in a 16 minutes,
Dia dah
a
minute
3,500
15,
gold lead,
dia dah
still
minute
means that
16.
Omega has the right items to actually turn it around.
Kalau
It's still a very
Omega-
close game, it's based on the execution.
Epic
But the
comeback
raw
bahaya ni.
firepower that they have, AP Bren, it's just too much that the damage profile of Omega is like little chunks, clean up by the Hayabusa, clean up by the
Let's
Farsa, clean up by the
comment,
Granger.
comment.
But AP Bren could just, similar to the game number one,
Madam
throw
Chow.
bodies, throw
Haji out.
damage, and then any formation that Omega wants to do is just bust it down immediately. Is it impossible for them to make a comeback? Not at all. But it's so much easier right now for AP Bren to hold this than it is for Omega to make a comeback.
Yeah, and it's also very hard for them to actually make any mistakes because it's so hard to make mistakes
Don't that be
if you're like
Skyfish,
just an Esmeralda in front. Like
Yeah.
the worst mistake you could probably do is like maybe a falling
Better
star
to
moon or a
serve.
really bad angle. But either way, you are still in front.
Skyfish
You're doing
yang
your
item
job.
mana biru
And that's
tu,
why
eh?
it's so foolproof. Aqua has been hitting hits non-stop as well, just not making the mark all the time, but also just making it so hard for Omega to set anything up. And all these bushes just cannot be camped by Omega at all.
Yeah, I mean, even earlier when Super Yoshi unfortunately stepped on a trap, there was Lord JM scouting the area as well. So regardless, even if Super Yoshi was able to find his way to AP Bren and their members, there would be a Falling Star Moon coming in from Lord JM to potentially intercept and block the other members of Smart Omega just the same. And even beyond that, this has been a very low-scoring game. It just goes to show the amount of sustain and just how careful these two teams have been playing it out.
should also help out Omega and Nesky. The fact that he was already able to last build the Rose Gold Meteor, that he can go a little bit more forward in terms of trying to deal more damage to Shizo. But again, it's going to be a difficult target to take down, that Harith. Bloodwings locked in for the last item, already has Holy Crystal full build. X-Nova just built up an Athena shield as well, so the burst damage that the Farsa can dish out is going to be more manageable. So then now, for Omega, there's so many angle of attacks you have to look for. Okay, you decide to focus fire on one, suddenly you have to watch out for X-Nova coming in with the Tyrant's Revenge and Rage combo.
And there he
Right on
goes
cue.
in.
Wow, okay.
Right on cue. One member down for Smart Omega. They might not contest this anymore, and they won't.
Yeah, that's a big -1 here for James. He thought he was going to be unkillable in that last one, but no, one combo actually took down this glue, and that is not a good sign for Omega.
I'm also reminded of what it was like when it was just Kufra and Choke constantly as the trade in the roam, where it always
Guys,
just,
kita
whoever
sambung.
makes it to the drop first essentially just
Hayabusa
wins the
pistol,
trade
guys.
already.
Yeah, just control that all day long.
Yeah, because you're two pick-off style
Ryzen
roamers
pistol.
that whoever gets to the spot that they want to get to first means that there's a higher chance that they're the ones who are setting up
busanya bawa bunuh
better.
satu, bawa
And in
mati
that scenario, I think James could have
Jangan
let
paskan dah
that
bunuh
go.
empat.
If he was going to stick that close to get vision, he could have had someone else there with him to help cover. I feel like that was an unnecessary death for that glue.
Yeah, he didn't even get the chance to use the split, I think, right? To
Yeah.
dodge some of the damage out.
Tapi Gringganya belum ada
Becoming
mati,
a big
guys.
problem here, at least for
Ball
now.
kosong.
James is back on the field alongside the Lord, though. It's going to be a big fight.
Kaya bencana, wow.
Position themselves
menang ni,
further,
itulah,
knowing
Big
that
Ram menang,
X-Nova
GG.
could go in. Now
Okay,
this could
Big Ram
be
masuk.
set up by
Oh,
execution.
there's not. Oh,
Right into
oh,
Haji though. It
oh.
lands onto Super Yoshi. That's
Oh,
Turner's revenge, but
Pati,
from the back
Hayabusa.
lines, Ryzen will try to look for a
Aduh,
target, but they get to
sayang
spread
sekali.
out the damage
Hayabusa
so
dah
well.
Been a big stun
Tawanya
fair
dah pecah,
coming
guys.
from
X-Nova!
Oh, snowball, Kufra,
Finds the sense
anti.
onto two members. Two
Oh,
crucial
Happy
members.
Bremna.
Nevsky's the first to fall, and
Happy
nothing else
Bremna.
matters for
Well,
time.
GG.
AB Bren secure their first win.
Happy Brem menang, guys. First
That is
tournament.
definitely one way to
2-1.
show up in your first season. X-Nova.
Okay, guys, ditepukan, guys. Philippines.
Tyrant's Rage into the base.
Juara
Remember
MPL,
the
guys.
name and remember
Baru
the
on-
games. X-Nova has put himself
Orang pertama, guys.
on the map.
2-1.
Mamba-esque against Omega.
That's exactly
Kufra
where you
skill
kind
match.
of just
Yeah,
want to
GG.
be. When
Kufranya
going
skill
up
lah.
like that, it will put you
RQ
high
doing
pressure
well.
from the
GG. Roma control the
That
game.
was fun to watch.
That was a flashy
Kufranya power, guys.
Kufra.
That's why next
It's been so long
formation.
since like we've seen such flashy
Kopi
plays
Padang Hilo sana.
happen here and there because of
Opo
like the
Padang.
metas
Hilos.
that's been going on,
Oh, Hilos.
but this is just so exciting to see, especially from this new version of AP Brand. But still, Smart Omega, there's something with them at game number 3.
Happy Brand, GG, guys.
Yeah,
Menang.
just when you thought that Omega would be on a hot streak after winning their first series of the season, they dropped that. But it was
Season
an
numbers
impressive
of the
showing overall, but it is the moment of AP Brand.
That is AP Brand. We're going to be hearing from them live on stage alongside Hans and Odin. Definitely want to hear from these teams. First game, first win.
Order,
We're going to hear from them in just a few moments. Look at that very familiar face right
Yeah,
there.
that's true.
And we are going to definitely... Oh, come on.
Boleh tahan lah gamai.
He's the namesake. Here's the host.
Tournament apa?
First
Philippines.
series, first victory. Here are your winners, AP
Happy Brand.
Ibang klase. This was a totally different experience from last season.
klase.
And that game 3 was led by none other than X-Nova. You have to give it to this roamer right here, Odin.
Grabe ang performance mo, X-Nova. This is your debut match. Congratulations, first of all, for making it here sa MPL Philippines. Alam mo, Nova, naaalala ko nung MDL times
GG,
mo.
GG.
Medyo
Fibran,
nalungkot
GG.
kami
Menang,
nung magpapahinga ka from RQ Kaito because that was such a
Ronda ba
dream
niya?
team na
Ada
nakita
squad na
namin
niya,
before. And natanong
Liquid.
kita noon, sabi ko, bakit ka magpapahinga? Ang sinabi mo sa akin, MPL na po
Oh,
yung
Baji
dream ko,
Bechante,
madam.
isa.
And now that you're here, ano yung nararamdaman mo dito sa harap ng lahat ng MPL fans?
Masaya.
Ang haba ng tanong ko, pero masaya yeah.
sinabi na- sabi na
Obviously.
masaya.
Oo. Nakakaramdam ka ba ng kaba na ito yung first match mo?
Siguro yung una. Pero yung sinabi kasi ni Coach na sa akin na may iba't ibang kaba na kunyari excited.
Okay guys, tahu guys, cakap pasal tu cakap pasal ni.
Excited siguro. Hindi yung kaba na...
Mungkin dia kata kita dapat yang terbaik guys.
You know, I want to know more ex-Nova kasi probably later on sa mga susunod na makikita nating laban, posible mong maalaban si Ferds, yung dati mong teammate. I'm sure he's gonna be watching this. Anong mensahe mo para kay Ferds pag nagharap kayo in the future?
Good luck sa amin. Galingan na lang namin.
Right, and you really did an amazing job for this series alone. James Banks, ikaw ang susunod ko ngayon pare because this was a completely different AP blend dun sa nakita namin from last season. You had your victories, I think around week 3 pa, di ba? Yun yung una nyo last season. What's the difference of this team now compared to season 15? Mas matapang ba? Ano bang iba sa AP brand ngayon?
Yun nga, mas matapang kasi medyo nawala na yung pressure sa amin eh. Ini-enjoy na lang namin yung laro eh. Kaya, yun. Ginagawa namin tapang na may utak na lang eh.
Giginya semua pasang besi bro.
You know, I want to know more about that as well. Kasi Odin, there was an interview on you na parang sinabi mo na medyo pinangunahan kayo ng kaba last season. Pinangunahan kayo ng, you know, hindi naman takot. Pero sinasabi mo sa akin dati na naaurahan kayo. Did that change for season 16 now na nandito ka ulit?
Opo. Nawala na yung ganong pakiramdam. Tsaka, di na ako naaurahan sa mga kalaban eh. Iniisip ko na lang nag-RG ako para mas madali akong makapokus. Tsaka, yun. Hindi ko na sila iniisip.
Hindi mo na sila iniisip. RG mindset. Diba? That's usually how you get victories. Lalo na, pag yung leader nyo ba naman ay ang nagbabalik na si Aqua.
Ayan!
Welcome back!
Welcome back!
Nananahimik lang siya doon, Hans, no? Aqua, welcome back to MPL Philippines.
Aqua.
How does it feel na ibang team na yung sinasamahan mo ngayon?
Aqua ni pamela mo ya? Happy friend.
Pareho kayo ng sagot, ah. Sino nag-train sa inyo dalawa? Coach, kayo mo nagturo dyan.
Hindi, ano lang yan. Yun na lang yung one word lang talaga sila.
One word ka lang pala, Aqua, pero one word
One
para
word
sa
para
mga
Pocalo.
sumunod sa yung players bilang ikaw yung sophomore.
Alam ko na eh. Aqua, explain in one word itong series
Bang,
na
basa mo to, basa Philippine.
Diba?
Solid.
Ito naman yung Philippine, eh.
Solid! And that is how we're gonna leave it at that. Aqua, ito hindi pwedeng one word to ha. Kasi oras mo na para pasalamatan lahat ng mga sumusuporta sa AP Brand.
Maraming salamat sa mga nanonood and sa family ko and sa jowa ko.
Guys, siapa
Patuloy
tahu
lang
bahasa
sumuporta.
Philippine guys kasi na.
There we finally have it. Maraming salamat kay Aqua. And of course, our winners, AP Brand! Congratulations. The Bees have taken their first victory dito sa Season 16.
That was a solid game na napanood natin para sa kanila. And this was actually their first match. Napakagandang debut match for them. And with that, let's throw it back to our casters.
There you go. Of course, a little bit of a warm-up maybe on the interviews, but definitely had a great game there. That is AP Brand with their first victory. They're 1-0 in the season.
Imagine how long they waited for like last season to get that. And now they get it in their first match, in their debut match. So it's so refreshing to see.
Yeah, and I like how we got to see more into the mentality of James Banks. He said there at one point in this interview, he's just thinking as if he's playing his ranked game so that he wouldn't be scared. He doesn't care about who he's fighting anymore. He doesn't care who's on the other side. And you know what? Ex-Nova also playing as if not even just reckless abandon. A lot of the things that he committed were incredibly calculated. A 126 KDA doesn't sound impressive on paper, yes, but you have to watch what he did on the map and in the game to shut down Omega, especially Super Yoshi with the bouncing ball incidents that we saw multiple times.
And context matters as well because this was a very low kill score game, right?
Yeah.
So that's actually very high kill.
Okay guys, aku tamatkan dulu live stream. Kalau ada peluang lagi buat video pasal apa tournament Mobile Legends kita buat lagi ya. Okay, jangan lupa subscribe dan like my video. Bye bye. Ni ada TikTok Jangan lupa follow. Nanti kita buatlah konten apa? Roblox atau ML, okay? Bye bye. Aduh.